Good morning, my Teaserking family. Hope all is well on this Sunday afternoon, April 23rd. What should we talk about today? Well, listening in the car, I'm hearing the Bubbleheads talk draft. What should the Lions do? And this and that. And, they're basically clueless. Oh, the Lions are all set. They don't need help. I'm eating my General Tso from yesterday. Just for you, Bobby. This is what real General Tso looks like. This is the real McCoy. Nice sauce, no fat. Yummy, yummy. So they're talking about NFL draft for the Lions. Do they know what the hell they're talking about? Well, they can get the best available player. How the hell do you know what that is? Some say, they should draft another offensive lineman, another useless, wasteless pick in the first round because they're cheap. Then he's saying, they're going to sign St. Brown next year. No, the Lions never sign their guys once they become expensive. Well, they got Sewell at the rig now, the center. They'll never sign him. They don't sign him. They let him go, and they somebody new. This is why the Lions have sucked for 58 or 9. So they don't get it. And I know they're the news and they're the sports channel. So they're just saying what they're told to say. They don't have any original thought at all. Maybe though Jameson get bet on at the facility, the receiver from Alabama, but he didn't bet on football, so he didn't get suspended. He got suspended for 6 games because he bet on basketball in the weight room. Really dedicated player. I'm glad they picked him. This is the problem with the Lions. Go after guys that have no clue what they're doing. It's like drafted the receivers, right, from Michigan. Because they don't know what they're doing. You don't waste first-round picks with receivers. So what did they do? They wasted a first-round pick. And the ironic part is they had 2 first-round picks. They could have drafted Georgia defensive players and not had the 32nd worst defense in the league. No, we'll draft a receiver because our offense is like number 5 in the league. So we'll draft a wide receiver, and we don't need it. This is how stupid the Lions are, right? You need defense. Your first 5 picks in this draft should all be defense. You don't need offense. You're fine with the offensive line. You're fine with the wide receivers. Sucks, but you're too stupid to pick one that's good. Your running back's always injured. So free agency, I guess they send a running back from the Bears, Montgomery, who I like from Iowa State. I'm surprised the Bears let him go. But I don't think he'll do anything here because we're the Lions and they suck. So the first pick should be Joe Green. So where's Joe Green? He's probably on Washington State, maybe Iowa State, maybe Georgia. Now the guy on the radio is saying body type. Well, he looks like TJ Watt, so therefore he'll be TJ Watt. Dude, it ain't body type, it's skill set. So if the guy, if somebody looks like it's what's up here, it's the passion in his heart. Does he have it? Does he know what he's doing? This is what these guys don't understand. Richardson, quarterback of Florida. Well, he looks good in T-shirt and shorts and draft. How did he look against Georgia and Kentucky and Tennessee? Oh, he didn't show up. Oh, okay. They lost all these games. Yeah, but he'll do better in the pros because he can run a 4.40. Well, dude, that's not why you draft a quarterback. Look at Lamar. How many games has he won? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I want a good. I want a running quarterback. Yeah. That'll change things. And Lamar can't get picked up by anybody because he stinks. And everybody knows he stinks. Why would you pay $50 million for a guy that isn't worth $5 million? These are where the salaries come unglued. Now, quick shift to economics. What are these guys going to get paid when the dollar goes out? What are the tickets going to sell? What's advertising going to sell for? This is the whole problem with you ruin the money to figure out what everything's going to cost. Is it going to be even? Well, you didn't print as much of the new dollars yet as you obviously printed out. You're not the reserve currency, so you don't need as many dollars. But these idiots are all crooks, so they'll just steal at J.P. Morgan. Like, they'll just print a bunch of the new money because they want it because it's their precious. And this is basically the problem. So what is a $30 million contract actually worth in real terms? What's it going to be? This we'll find out. But this is the problem that these idiot people who want to rule the world and want to CBCD everybody and electric car everybody. But the problem is, the closer we come to that, the more people wake up. Everybody wants to be left alone. I want to go to the grocery store. I want to cook my chicken. I want to eat my General Chow. I want to do my class. I'm going to go to work soon. They don't want to hear controlled central bank digital currency. I have to buy an electric car. Believe me, nobody wants that. So this is where the problem lies. And then these idiots that are doing it, you think are actually capable of pulling any plan off? Look at Paul. He's so stupid. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's raising interest rates, which do absolutely nothing. He's killed everybody away from the dollar. Is that your plan? We'll roll out the digital currency. How will that work? You haven't even done it yet. You don't even know how it'll work. How does everybody price everything? Well, it's just like using a debit card. No, it's not, because I have cash in the bank. I have to cover the credit card. How am I going to cover the digital currency if I don't have money? What am I going to use to cover it? These guys are so stupid. Anyway, so trying to tie everything in. Everything always goes back to economics. So how do you draft? Well, I've done a draft video maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. We'll review it. So what did I say? You want to follow the Steelers and the 49ers and Dallas Cowboys model. You want defense. You want to get Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood and Jack Hambert, Mel Blanc, Mike Wagner. Right? That's what you want to get. Those type of players. Now, then you get the Franco Harris. Right? Then they got him in 71. No, for the 72 season, right? The Immaculate Reception was his rookie year. Then they get Swan and Stallworth in 74. So you're fine. Get your running back. And had they had Swan and Stallworth, they'd have killed that Miami team, who they should have beat on a stupid fake punt by Larry Seiple, which still pisses me off. So with that said, that's who you should be looking at. If you have any of the top 10 draft picks, you should be getting the best defensive players from Washington State, Iowa, Illinois, Georgia. Those are your top 5, maybe Oregon State. Those are your top 6 defensive teams. Maybe Michigan. I don't know. That's who you want. when they get a guy from Tulane, in the first round, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Because if they have good college defenses, they obviously have good college player and good college schemes. So why isn't every NFL team running the Iowa defense? It's always the top 5 defense. Why aren't they running a Georgia defense? Or now a Washington State defense or Iowa State? Why aren't the NFL running these defenses? Because when we look at Iowa State, they play Texas, Oklahoma, Oak State, Kansas now, Kansas State, Baylor, TCU. The list goes on and on. Texas Tech, and they hold them to. They give up 10 points, 10 points a game. I mean, Kansas is scoring 40 points a game, and they play them to a 14-10 game. What are they doing? It's the same offenses that are in the NFL. Why aren't the NFL running these defenses? Instead of this zone bullshit where they let the guy catch the ball for 20 yards and everybody's backing up, or the one where they're all standing at the goal line and letting them catch the ball at the 10-yard line, or just any of, all this bullshit. This is the question, right? They're not smart enough. So let's say I'm the GM of the professor's team. I don't know. I don't know what team. I don't want to base the team. I'm taking the Joe Green out there, whoever the best defensive lineman, if I feel he's a first-round pick. So the key is first-round picks. Who am I getting? Who do I think's good? Well, I'm watching all the film of Washington State, and they're in the backfield of Washington and Oregon State, and they're just shutting everybody down. Who's the best couple of players? Right? I'm writing them down. Boom, boom, boom. Now let's say I'm the Lions. I get the 6th pick and the 18th pick. Boom, boom, boom. Who do I want? Washington State, Iowa's guys, Iowa State's guys. And don't tell me they're too small or they're too old or they're too young or any of the bullshit excuses that they give out. These radio guys give out the worst. He's Stenson Bennett. He's too old. He's like 25. Oh, I didn't know that you can't quarterback in the NFL after 25. Tom Brady's 45. Aaron Rodgers is 40. So, yeah, Breeze, yeah, they all play till they're 40. What the fuck are you talking about? This is their excuse? So, I'm looking at my systems. I'm running systems because that's what it is. I have a system for picking games. I have a system for investing in gold. I have a system for picking stocks. I have a system for managing my money. You have to have systems because you've got to make changes. One thing before I go on that I really want to say about when you see these gold and silver guys, and I'll get back, but this is right on the tip of my tongue, are these people that look at charts, Mike Maloney and all these idiots. And I will call them idiots because what do I do more than anything is trend analysis, right? So I'm looking at the trend of the Packers, the Patriots, the Cowboys, and I'm looking home favorite, home dog. I go back a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But I'm smart enough to realize you can't go back more than a year or two because of all the changes that happen. Oh, wait, the quarterback's not there anymore. Oh, the coach moved on. It's musical chairs. I can't use the trends anymore. Too many variables. What does Maloney do or these other idiots that do trends? Oh, gold's going to hit. I saw gold's going to hit 3,000 because let's look at the chart. This is what happened in 2008. So what you're saying is the exact same thing that happened in 2008 is going to happen now, even though the inflation's higher, all the countries are getting off the dollar and they're raising interest rates, and you think it's going to be just like 2008, which was strictly a housing problem. I hate when they call it a crisis. It's not a crisis. You had a housing problem. They're raising rates. People couldn't afford their mortgages, were defaulting. That's all that happened. It wasn't a crisis. They never should have got the loans in the first place. So with that said, you're going to use a chart and show me what gold did then is what gold's going to do now. None of the variables changed. AKA Tom Brady left New England for Tampa, and you still want to use the New England chart. Oh, Peyton Manning left Indy for Denver. You still want to use the Indy chart and the Denver chart. Russell Wilson left Seattle for Denver. You still want to use Seattle and Denver's charts. Okay, well, good luck with that because it won't work because they're not there. Things have changed. Once you realize things have changed, I'm saving the last one for you, Bobby, when you get on. When you realize, how do you use charts if you don't understand the variables? So Mike Maloney will come out with his chart and say, I expect gold to do this. What variables changed, Mike? I don't know. I'm just looking at a chart. So basically, you're an idiot because you've got to look at different variables, and you should never use charts because they don't work because of all the extra variables that happen. You now have inflation. You didn't. You have people getting off the dollar. You didn't. How can you possibly look at the chart that happened in 2008 and use it? We're getting off the COMEX. It's blown up. We're now going to gold-backed currency. Gold has to go up. The BIS, Bank International Settlements, boom, boom, China, Russia, all want gold to go up. So you think it's just going to go up because of the chart that you did in 2008 and no other variable has taken effect? I got some oceanfront property in Detroit. If you'd like, I'll sell it to you. I mean, that's the stupidest thing in the world, but that's what you have to understand. So when you are on YouTube or wherever you are, and you're looking at these guys, I heard people go on Twitter, and you're looking at these guys and you think they're smart, and they do a chart, immediately click negative and get the fuck away from them because they don't know what they're doing. I don't use my trend analysis as much anymore. Maybe with San Diego, because you've had Herbert there for 4 or 5 years now. Maybe, well, I could use Green Bay, but now Rodgers is at New York. I can't use that. Buffalo, I can go back like 3 years. Josh Allen. Pittsburgh, new quarterback. Baltimore, new quarterback. Miami, new quarterback. Philly, new quarterback. I can't use anybody's. I can kind of get a gauge, but I can't really use it. Too many new coaches, too many new quarterbacks. Now I can look at a 2-year trend, but then I realize it's not enough information, so I got to be careful. I can see bet against the Lions as a road dogs, 14-1, and it's always like that. I can probably then get away with it, but not as heavily weighted as it was before when San Diego was 22-1 as a road dog. They're a road dog. I'm locking them in Seattle. Now, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith looked pretty good. They got the receivers. They got Coach Pete. So I could use it a little. San Diego, definitely I can use as a road dog, especially against a weak home favorite. Like a Houston, like an Indy. I'm not really worried about Pittsburgh. Teams that aren't that strong offensively, I can get away with San Diego with strong defense, a strong underdog. But you can't use most of the trends. So I had to develop a new way to look at them, and I've done it with defense. Now I'm looking at these shutdown defenses, which is very hard to find in the NFL. There is no good defense, but I do it great in college. Georgia, Washington State, Iowa State, Iowa. How many locks did I have? 2 years ago, I locked Georgia under every game and won every one of them. Last year was a little bit more. Washington State lock under, Oregon State lock under, Iowa State lock under, Iowa lock under. There was games Iowa was playing, and the over-under was 32. I mean, it was ridiculous. It's never that low. Well, what did I do? I said, this is no good. The trend analysis is no good because of all the changes. And now with the transfer portal, I don't even do it anymore in college. I now go off of offense, defense. And I now look for the wicked defenses, and I bet them under when they play a weak offensive team. Or I'll play them as a dog against a weak offense. Like Georgia, I've been playing them under all year. Then they give up a lot to LSU and Ohio State. Next thing you know, I lock over in the championship game, and they win by 50 points. Now, with that said, CJ Stroud, he sucked against Michigan, right? Cost us money. Now I'm hearing, wow, they like him because look what he did against Georgia. Well, wait a minute. LSU lit up Georgia with a running quarterback. So Stroud lit him up as a running quarterback, not as a throwing quarterback. He's not that good. Let's go back to the Michigan game. Georgia wasn't that defense wasn't there that near the end against LSU and there. They were great against Tennessee and Florida. Oops, there goes Richardson. Did he score against Georgia? No. Well, what you going to do in the NFL if he couldn't score against an NFL defense? So you have to adjust. So if I'm talking gold, I'm saying, wait a minute, it's not going to be paper derivative gold. It's going to be actual physical gold. That's why I say 50,000 an ounce. It's never been there because it's never been an actual physical price. It's always been a COMEX controlled price. So that's the biggest variable changing in gold and silver. That's why they're going up. So you have to think. I can't blindly use the trend that I use, for football when I'm using New England's trend, but Brady's not there anymore. How the fuck can I use New England's trend? And I can't do it here with gold and silver. I can't look at what happened in 2008 and use it because it doesn't work. It's gone. It's not going to be derivative gold. It's going to be actual physical gold. That's what the Russians, Chinese, most of the central banks need gold price up. It's going up. The U.S. wants it down. They're all telling the U.S. go fuck off. I don't blame them. I'd be saying that too. When I was in Barcelona, and the girls are talking Russian, and I'm talking to the other guy, I go to him. We started talking about the U.S. And I said, "They're a communist country now," and he looked at me like I was nuts. And I go, "Oh, really? And what part of us is capitalist anymore? Where's the free markets at? Where's the currency? Where's the laws? You can't speak out against somebody else. That's communism. That is not capitalism. Is free speech, sound government, sound money, sound judges. We don't have that. Oh, wait, he said the wrong thing and we don't have free speech anymore. So how is this? This is not Adam Smith, capitalist USA. This is Joe Stalin, Russia, USA, communist. I'm looking at him like, you don't have a clue what's going on, do you? But this is what I deal with as a professor because I figure all this shit out because I'm an INFJ and then trying to get you guys with me, right? Come on, let's go. Boom, I found. So when I hear all these trends on gold and silver, please don't believe them. They're not accurate. It's like, look, Tom Brady's no longer at New England. We can't use New England's trends from 2008. That's about what I'm saying, and that's really what you have to understand. So when they come out and say, well, gold did this in 2008, who the fuck cares? It's got nothing to do. It was derivative gold, and it's not going to be derivative much longer. It's going to be actual physical, and you don't have a 2008 physical price. You've never had a physical price. Look out. Here we go. And get ready to make a boatload of money with zero risk, by the way, which nobody wants to tell you that part either. So be careful watching these analysts, which are mostly salesmen, trying to sell you gold, trying to scare you, trying to say this is what happened. It's going to go up to 3,000. When I see that, I laugh at the guy. I just put laugh out loud. This guy's an idiot in the comments, and I give him a negative, and off I go. I blame the host. Like this Liberty and Finance guy is really pissing me off because he's not contacting me. I said, here's the Titanic, boom, he doesn't watch it, doesn't contact me. And then he has these guests on that are idiots. And I'm giving him negative, like, you're a freaking idiot. You're the scammer. You're trying to scam everybody with these terrible guests into believing you. You don't know what you're doing. But he doesn't have the balls to contact me to understand what's really going on. Anyway. So I'm tired of, look, I'm trying to help, but if you don't want my help, don't bring on these stupid guests. So anyway, that's what you got. You cannot trust. It's like the idea of a trend analysis is very intelligent. The idea that the trends don't change is stupidity. maybe before in the 90s with Montana, with the Steelers in the 70s, the Packers in the 60s, Jimmy Johnson's Miami teams and in college, and the Cowboys. You could probably LT's team, the Giants with LT. You could probably trend those. That was the only time you're trending the linebacker instead of Montana. You're trending Lawrence Taylor, right? Come on, Bobby. I'm hungry. I want to eat my last General Chow. So, no MSG, not fried. Perfect. So, with that said, it's very dangerous to blindly use trend analysis. You have to. This is the conversation I had with Nick. Nick wanted to do, I'm going to pick football games with math. And I vehemently disagreed with Nick. And I didn't know Nick very well in the beginning, and I didn't care. I'm going to do the right thing. If I know you or not, I'm going to tell you the right thing to do. I'm going to tell you to buy gold and silver. I'm going to tell you you can't use math on football picks. Now, the reason you can is because of the variables. How do you capture all the variables in a mathematical formula? So you think you're just going to plug in, the Giants are playing the 49ers. We're going to plug it in and it's going to give us the pick. You got to be crazy. These I hear on this BetMGM where they're computer picks. Like, you guys are out of your fucking minds. You can't do that. Well, they look good the last week, so I'm going to bet them this week. You can't do that. They're playing a different team at a different stadium, probably. I always say that. Detroit plays the Bears, and they beat them in Chicago. Now they're playing the 49ers at San Francisco. It ain't the same game. They're playing Chicago. Now they're playing Frisco. They were playing in Chicago or in Detroit. Now they're playing in San Francisco. How the fuck can you possibly say, well, look how good they're playing? Yeah, against that team, but not against this team. How do they match up? Because the offenses and defenses are pretty much a little bit different. They're a lot similar, but they're a little bit different. Look at Carolina, beat the Lions last year. They ran it down their throat, beat them by 30 points. Carolina didn't do that to anybody else, and the Lions looked like shit as usual, but couldn't even score. Carolina outcoached them by a mile in a game that the Lions needed. Goff, of course, doesn't show up in the game that they need. Goff's a choke. He doesn't show up. That's why the Rams let him go. He should never have been drafted one. He sucked in the Super Bowl. He sucked in the championship games, playoff games. That's why they got rid of him and had to have Stafford, because he couldn't do it. So now the Lions are under a misconception that he's good. He's not good. He's a choke. He's going to choke in the big games like he did against Carolina. So with that said, this is the problem most teams have. They'll keep their players. They'll keep their Goff instead of getting rid of him. Instead of understanding he sucks, they think, no, now he's good. No, he's not good. He sucks. And he sucked because he choked in college, and then he choked at the Rams. And guess what? Against Carolina, he choked. And anytime you got it, that's why they were 1-7, and now they're all excited. They went 9-8. Oh, look what they're going to do this year. They'll be lucky to win 7 games, 6 games, maybe, if they're lucky. They're not going to improve because they get a harder schedule. And against the harder schedule, they're going to lose more. So 9-7 against the weak schedule. Again, let's go to the variables. You can't graph 9-7 and go, well, this year they'll win 12 games. Well, who did they play? Oh, real easy schedule. This year is probably harder because they won more. So now they're going to, and who are they playing from the AFC and who's the NFC? Now they get the top teams, not the weak teams. So they'll be lucky to win 7 games. But you got to realize that. You've got to dig in and ask. That's why I tell you to ask the why question when you're playing poker. I bet $50. He called. Why did he call? He bet $50. Why did he bet $50? What type of player is he? Is he betting 50 because he's got a set of aces? Or is he the type of player that bluffs? Like I said, with the Russian girl that I played with, she was a bluffer. So when she bet a lot, she was bluffing. But when she checked, she had the hand. So that's what you're looking at. And it's the same thing here. You cannot use the trend in football. You cannot look at a quarterback who sucks in college and say he's going to be good. You have to draft. You've got to draft defense. The Lions, if I'm the Lions GM, and as I said, I don't know what team I am. I'm the professor's team, right? So we got our own NFL team. Bobby's our quarterback, and so what do? Well, first thing we do is get defense. We get Joe Green, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Mel Blount, Mike Wagner. That's the white. That's what we are after, and it might take us one or two drafts to get there. If is there a Joe Green out there? If there's not, but there's a Ham and a Lambert, we got to take Ham and Lambert and wait for Joe Green. But the idea is you want the Joe Green first because you need that defensive line, and then you get the linebackers, and then you get the secondary. So that's what you're looking for, and the Franco Harris. So, Howard, that's in the 70s. That won't work now. Bullshit, it won't work now. Look who made the championship game, the 49ers with the killer defense. If Brock Purdy doesn't get injured because he can't read a corner blitz, and he just either falls down or runs and doesn't get his arm hurt going forward, if he does that, Frisco wins that game and is in the Super Bowl with a great defense, Pittsburgh Steelers style. Look at the Steelers. They don't have a quarterback. The quarterback sucks. So I almost made the playoffs. Then we get to the meat. You got the Cincinnati, Kansas City. Now you got Burrow and Mahomes. So now you got superstar quarterbacks. Who had the better defense? Cincinnati. Who got fucked? Cincinnati. But Mahomes was able to win despite having the weaker defense. They were able to run the ball. They had balance. They had Kelsey. Cincinnati has Burrow, and they have Mixon, and they have, of course, Jamar Chase. And if T. Higgins wants to leave, he's an idiot. That is where T. Higgins has to stay and take less money and play with Chase and Burrow, because he's going to do far better playing with Chase and Burrow than he's going to do going to what, Houston, Indy. I mean, good luck. Good luck, Eve. Playing there, but you made an extra $1 million. What does that do for you? All right. So as I told you, I got the job at Volkswagen. No, at Harley Davidson. Now, I had the job at this tool house company, a Bozo outfit, and I wasn't proud of it. They were unorganized. They promised things that didn't deliver. Very unprofessional team. But I was at Mercedes, very professional team. I was at Toyota, very unprofessional team. The Japanese think Pearl Harbor the World War II still going on. Very unprofessional. The Germans are very professional. Harley Davidson will be like Mercedes. I'm very proud to be at Harley Davidson, like I was proud to be at Mercedes. I wasn't proud to be at Toyota. It was an embarrassment. And I wasn't proud to be at this tool house that we're gonna do fix up homes only with companies. So we're gonna buy a piece of shit company with an owner. We don't have a game plan this is how you're supposed to run it. We're gonna bring in guys. We're not gonna clean it up so it's really dirty. We're not gonna bring in a computer system. What the fuck kind of thing? You don't bring in a computer system? Are you out of your mind? So basically, they had no plans. I'm sure they'll be bankrupt very soon, if they're not already. And that's basically it. I mean, it's just insane. But that's what you get with different teams. So that's how you have to draft it. So as I'm saying, the 70 teams. I was in the hot tub and I'm arguing. Well, the players are better now than they were in the 70s and 80s. They're faster now. Oh, really? They're faster? So what? You think, name a quarterback's better than Mel Blount? You think a safety's better than Mike Wagner? I'll take those guys all day long. Okay, Ronnie Lott in the 80s. Yep, he's right up there. Of course, Montana, Franco Harris, I'll take him all day. It's like the NBA. Michael Jordan would score 80 points a game in today's NBA because it can't play defense on him. Magic, Bird, it'd be a massacre. Every game they play, they would win by 30 points. It'd be massacres. The Boston and the Laker 80s teams, playing now, they'd win the division by 25 games. They'd win every game by 30, 40 points. Who's going to stop Bird and Magic? Are you insane? So don't tell me that just because these guys are, how are they faster? You don't think they were, I'll go back to the 60s. You had Bob Hayes ran a 9-something hundred. 100-yard dash, and then they made it meters, and now they're like 10-1, 10-2 guys. It's the same, but in meters. So what the fuck are you talking about? They're faster now than they were back then. Who's faster than Lawrence Taylor? Who's a better player than Ronnie Lott? Who's a better quarterback than Joe Montana? Give me a fucking break. I mean, you've got to look at skill set. You got to understand that shit. So when I tell you to build defense will win. Look at the Niners. Had no quarterback. Garoppolo sucks. No quarterback, but a great defense. And they did the same thing with Harbaugh. And they got to the Super Bowl and the championship games with really no quarterback and a great defense. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and no quarterback. They won a fucking Super Bowl. That's win. It always wins. And then Philly and Kansas City, neither team had a defense. We think Philly had a defense. No, when you looked at their schedule, they didn't play anybody. The only team they played with a good offense, Dallas, who doesn't even have a good offense, and Green Bay lit them up for 33 with Aaron Rodgers. So the one quarterback they played lit them up for 33. They don't have a good defense. Georgia played Hooker from Tennessee, who put up 50 on Alabama, and he got, 13 or 16 on Georgia. That was it. I don't even know if he got that. I think he scored real late to get 26-16. All I know is I locked Georgia in the game, and the game was over before it started. See, the Georgia defense can win for you. The Alabama defense is no longer because they pass the ball too much. They don't have the running, and they're not resting their defense. That's why Alabama hasn't been there in a few years. So keep your eye on that. You've got to be able to run the ball to rest your defense. That's why you do it, and to score from the red zone. Georgia has balance. So I'm drafting. My first picks are going to be Georgia, Iowa State, Iowa, Illinois, Washington State, and Oregon State defensive players. The top 2-3 defensive players I'm drafting. And then if let's say I get 2 from Georgia or 2 from Iowa State or 2 from Washington State, I'm saying, boys, let's install your defense, because we're going to play a defense that gives up 10, 12 points a game against NFL. I mean, are you kidding? Washington State played Washington and Oregon, each put up 45 points a game, and they held them, to 10. I mean, give me a fucking break. And the same thing with Iowa State and all those teams they play, and they give up 12, 14 a game. And we go to Georgia, who shuts Tennessee down. That's all you need to know. They put up 50 on Alabama and get 16 on Georgia. You don't need to see anything else. You don't need to. Florida, they killed, and Kentucky. You don't even need to see that. You just see the Tennessee. So now I'm drafting, and I'm getting their best players, right? Here's 15 good players. I got the top 3 from those 5 schools. And here we come in the draft. I'll take the Georgia guy first. I'll take the Iowa State guy with my 18th pick. We get to the second round, and it's okay. I haven't gone to Washington State's guy yet. Oregon State. Oh wait, Illinois. They got some good players. That's my whole draft. I don't need anybody. I got Montgomery as my running back. All right, Goff sucks as a quarterback, but what am I going to do? Now, here's where I might come into play. Late in the draft, I'm going to try to get Hooker, or I'm going to try to get Haener. I'm not going to waste the first round pick on these bums. CJ Stroud, he's not even as good as Fields, right? He sucks. Why would you draft him? If you're drafting that, he's a 6th round draft pick. Richardson of Florida, he's not even a quarterback. You wouldn't even draft the guy. So if these 2 idiots get drafted in the first 5 picks by Indy and Houston, we're going to bet so much money against Indy and Houston when these idiots are quarterbacking. It's going to be a joke. We're going to make so much money off of these mistakes. Fine. That's how you need to analyze this. You can't get frustrated. Houston's an idiot or Indy's an idiot by drafting these guys. We look at it from, fine, you can go draft C.J. Stroud with the 2 pick, and we're going to bet heavy against you because this guy sucks in college and he's going to suck in the pro. And it's a system. He's a system quarterback. And everybody who's at Ohio State, who runs the Ohio State offense, gets from the pros. Look at Fields. Fields doesn't even complete 50% of his passes. You want to draft Fields? And Fields doesn't do anything. So C.J. Stroud, he's better than Fields, really? So that's how you should be drafting, is the good defense. Oh, the Lions, well, they picked up free agent guys. Well, big fucking deal. You don't even know if they're going to work on your team. You don't know. These aren't your guys. The Steelers never had free agents from another team. Neither did the Cowboys. The 49ers with Montana did. The Raiders near the end picked up Matuzak, but generally, like Dallas and Green Bay and these teams, they drafted and molded their players. That's why they were successful. And they knew how to draft. They drafted good players. So the GMs are clueless. Anybody that thinks, I would not even take the Alabama quarterback one. Who's that? Carolina, I think. You got to be out of your mind. You probably have Darnold's probably better than the guy from Alabama, and Darnold sucks. What do you think the guy from Alabama is going to do? He's going to come in and he's going to light it up. Wait a minute. We're supposed to be playing Appalachian State and New Mexico State. Oh, I can't. This is like every week's against Georgia. I can't play that because I have my receivers running wide open all over the place. And wait a minute, they're running wide open, but here they're not. Even look at Devontae Smith at Philadelphia. Look at the Super Bowl or championship. He had like 1 or 2 catches. Yeah, he caught that one ball that he didn't catch against the Niners where he trapped it. He couldn't even catch it. Then he had the touchdown where he barely got in and he was wide open. Outside of that, he didn't even show up. Anybody could have done what he did. That's why you don't draft these guys, especially from Alabama. None of them are really that good. It's their system. That's why you don't look at Mac Jones. Sucks. Tagliabue, if he even can get onto the field with his concussions, sucks. Sorry, Bobby. I gotta eat my general. My general is calling me. And then I put this hot mustard on it, which comes from the Chinese place. Oh, it's so hot it burns your tongue, but it's such a good burn. So what we have here is teams that don't know what they're doing. There's no means to an end. We're going to draft C.J. Stroud. And how is that going to help you, Houston? You have Mills playing for you. You obviously have no idea what a quarterback is. He sucked at Stanford. He's terrible. I hear him talking about Tanner McKee from Stanford. He sucks. He's not a pro quarterback. Where are these guys getting this from? They're not watching the college. They're not looking at the stats. They're not looking at them in the big games. How did McKee do against Oregon and Washington and Washington State and Oregon State? How did he do in those games? He didn't even show up. They got killed in those games. What's he going to do in the pros? He's going to get killed in those games. So that's why I like Stetson Bennett. If I'm the Steelers, I'm drafting Stetson Bennett or Baltimore. Teams with good defense. The Niners should, even though Brock Purdy, I would get rid of Trey Lance and I would bring in Stetson Bennett if he's available. I'd bring in Hayner if he's available, or I'd bring in Hooker. Hooker would be great at Frisco. He'll recover from his injury. It's funny how Tagliabue was injured and they drafted him third. That wasn't an issue, but Hooker's injured and all of a sudden, we can't draft him. He's injured. Why? Because he didn't go to Alabama? He beat Alabama 50-49 on some brilliant passes. I don't know what the fuck you guys are looking at. I'm watching him put up 50 points on your Alabama team with this Arthur Anderson as the linebacker who's supposed to be great. Well, where was he in the Tennessee game? I guess he didn't show up there. That's the whole point. So I don't see why you would draft anybody from Alabama when you could get guys from Iowa State. Iowa State guys have got to be great to keep Baylor and TCU and Texas and Oklahoma, into the low 20s. I mean, what do you want? Why that coach is not in the NFL, I don't know. But the defensive coordinator, I'd be hiring that guy. What do you want? $5 million a year? You're my defensive coordinator. And I'm signing you for 5 years because I don't want you being a head coach on the Bears. I want to sign you and keep you. I don't get that either. The Lions supposedly have a good offensive coordinator. I don't think so, but let's see. And he might be coaching somewhere else. So why don't you just make him an assistant head coach and pay him, and then he won't be interested. Well, we don't want to do that. Then it would cost us money. See, the Lions have no concept. They never signed the guy to the second contract. You watch St. Brown, Ragnow, all these guys will be gone. They won't sign him. They don't want to sign him. They don't want to win. They want to make money. And they've gone to electric cars, and they lost like $200 billion in the first quarter, and they'll lose another $500 billion in the second quarter because it costs money to make the cars that nobody wants because they're too stupid to understand Say's law. I make what you want. Supply creates the demand. I want a Mustang. That's what you make. I'm going to make an electric car. Wait, where's the? I can't sell them. There's no demand. I have to sell them for $100, but then I can't because the battery's going to blow up, and I'm going to need a new battery. It's going to cost me $10,000 if I can even find new batteries because the silver supply is going to be gone, and I won't be able to make them. So I got an electric car that I can't find a battery. Oh wait, it's the elite plan that only the rich can buy. Electric cars and everybody else and. Sunoco and Shell and Mobil and Exxon, they're going to just go out of business. Why would they make billions of dollars, stay in business? We're going to get them out because they sell gas. Are you fucking kidding me? Who's coming up with this shit thinking this is actually a plan? We'll get rid of the gas companies for the electric companies. Who the fuck is thinking this shit, man? You got to be kidding. Probably Warren Buffett. He's an idiot. Anyway, yeah, the truth, I talk the truth. So, yeah, and I swear because that frustrates me. So what you have is hopefully the Lions, but they don't sign, look at Darius Slay. Why isn't he still a Lion? They don't want to pay him. Philly, he goes to Philly. There was another cornerback or safety who went to a different team. Chris Spielman. One contract, second contract with Buffalo. They will not sign their guys to a second contract. This whole thing, and everybody thinks their general manager is good at drafting. Well, when your team sucks and you put anybody in and he looks halfway decent, yeah, is a joke. Did you draft Jack Lambert and Jack Ham, or did you draft Phil Lambert and Phil Ham? He drafts Phil Lambert and Phil Ham. These guys look good because you don't have anybody, but he's not drafting Lambert and Ham. He's drafting, other players. So I don't know where everybody's so excited. This guy drafting these players. Anyway, unless you get a better defense and a better running game, you ain't doing anything in this league. You've got to stop the other team with your defense. That means pass rush, then secondary. You need Mel Blount and Mike Wagner out there who cover receivers. You don't cover. You play a stupid zone. You don't cover anybody. You want to know how Roger Staubach's career ended? L.C. Greenwood blindsided him and gave him a concussion. He was all done. What do you mean? L.C. Greenwood actually sacked the quarterback? He rang his bell so hard that he retired him. And that's what you need to do. And Roger Staubach, who the hell could tackle that guy? He was unbelievable. He was very nimble and fast, and he'd run, and but even he looked to throw on the Drew Pearson play. He threw the ball, the Hail Mary, right? He didn't run it 20 yards like Lamar Jackson would have done. You think Lamar Jackson would have beat Minnesota on that for the NFC Championship game in '73? which led Dallas to play what, Pitt in the Super Bowl, or Dallas played. Yeah, I think they played Pitt. They lost to Baltimore, beat Miami, but then Staubach came in, and then they played Pitt. So 74, I think that was, no, Pitt played Minnie, and then Pitt played Dallas. So it was the second year when Pitt played Dallas. Pitt would have lost if they would have had to play Minnie again. Minnie would have lost to Miami, Pittsburgh twice. It would have been hysterical. So instead, they lost to the Raiders in '76. But that's what happens. That's why I laugh at Lamar Jackson. He's never going to do that pass. He'll never do that because he's going to run. Because he doesn't understand looking downfield, finding the open areas, reading the blitz, reading where to go, and reading that I got to throw the ball, not run it. He can't do that. That's why I say what I say. There's always a reason why I say it. And I'm not trying to knock anybody. I'm being honest, telling you the way it is. Roger Staubach ran around, but he was clutch. Fran Tarkenton ran around, and he sucked. He's the reason Minnesota lost 3 Super Bowls, because that guy's absolutely terrible. Avocado. So with that said, what are we looking for? We're going to win with Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood and Ham and Lambert. We're going to win championship games. Who do the Lions have? They have nobody. Their defense consists of the guy Hutchinson from Michigan, who we don't know how good he is. That's it. Everybody who's good in their secondary has moved on. Their linebackers suck. Nobody's Ham and Lambert and Andy Russell. So you need those players to win. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to win, or are you trying to just, build an offense to get fans so you make money? Well, you make money on the TV. You save money by not signing players. So you're about money, not that. So I will be the first one laughing when Ford goes bankrupt and sells the team. And hopefully the new owner won't be like the Pistons or the Red Wing owner, who's just not there to win, right? Illich dies, the son takes over. He's in so far over his head, he has no idea what he's doing. I mean, he gets rid of Verlander and he gets rid of J.D. Martinez. He gets nothing back for it. What are you thinking? You got an asset like Verlander, you just let him walk? Are you kidding me? Well, we got to cut salaries. Fine, you got Verlander. You've got the golden, the golden goose. Why would you let him go? And if you let him go, you better get a golden goose back. This is what teams do. They dump salaries, and then they wonder why they suck for 10 years. It's not hard because it's all about skill. So what we do as a betting person, we look for skill. Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Aaron Rodgers normally, Brady. We look for skill to bet on because that's what wins. We ain't looking at golf to win. And as I said yesterday, I don't make any more money betting on the Lions than I will bet on Kansas City. The point spread adjusted, but if I can get a good point spread on Kansas City or Cincinnati, especially when they're dogs, especially Cincinnati being the dog a few times, why would I ever bet the Lions, who are down here, when I could bet Cincinnati as a dog to Kansas City or Buffalo, right? I locked Cincinnati against Buffalo as a dog, and then that's when the guy got injured, and then I again locked him against Buffalo in the divisional round, and Cincinnati won 26-7. Again, I had Cincinnati locked. I'm betting on Joe Burrow. So you've got to have a good enough, which is what I got, skill set to spot the players, to spot the skill. Then we bet on that. That's what we bet on. So when I'm looking at the draft, if I'm drafting, I'm looking for Joe Green on Iowa, Iowa State, Washington State, Georgia. That's who I'm looking at, Joe Green. Is there Joe Green out there? If there is not, then I'm going to Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Andy Russell, or L.C. Greenwood. I'm looking, who's out there? Who am I going to get? That's what I'm looking for. The last guy I'm looking for is Terry Bradshaw. Then I'll look for Franco Harris. So maybe the guy at Texas is Franco Harris. But Franco Harris wasn't even the best running back at Penn State. It was Lydell Mitchell, who went to Baltimore. Franco fit because he was a power runner, but Paterno didn't even know what he had. He should have been the feature back. The feature back was Lydell Mitchell. So it's not necessarily Robinson, the best running back. Now, one name that blows my mind that nobody's talking about, which I think is in the draft, is Jefferson from Arkansas, their quarterback. He can run, but he's good. He's a winner, and he's a good quarterback. He's a good thrower. Or Duggan from TCU. Nobody's talking about these guys. I made so much money betting Jefferson and Duggan last year. It's a joke. Now, maybe I know Duggan's eligible, but where's Jefferson? I think he's eligible. Jefferson's 1,000 times better than Richardson and CJ Stroud. He's better than the Alabama quarterback. So's Hooker. So's Bennett. I don't know why they're all messed up on who they're. Oh wait, he played for Alabama and Ohio State, so he must be good. What the fuck are you talking about? Name an Alabama Ohio State quarterback is any good in the NFL, and you can't say Jalen Hurts because he sucked at Alabama, went to Oklahoma, and he doesn't impress me in the NFL. These stupid quarterback sneaks with 8 guys pushing him from behind does not make you a good quarterback. So to my point, so really all he does is hand off, and Philly runs the ball most of the time. Gets a few completions, but really Philly's a running team. So why am I drafting Alabama, Ohio State quarterbacks and thinking they're, 1-2 in the draft? You got to be out of your mind. And why isn't Hooker higher? Oh, he's injured. Well, so what? Hooker is probably no, I think Bennett's the best quarterback, and then I would go with Hooker, number 2. Those are the best NFL quarterbacks, right? So Bennett, he only won 2 titles, so he must suck. And then Hooker beat Alabama 50-4, he must suck. And then you got Jake Haener, who beat UCLA 2 years ago. He must suck. You got Duggan, who beat Michigan. He must suck. And he beat Texas and Oklahoma and all the teams, Kansas State. So he must suck. And then you've got Thompson Robinson at UCLA. Oh, he needs development. Oh, but C.J. Stroud and Richardson don't need to be developed. No. Thompson Robinson is much more along than Stroud and Robinson and Will Levis. Okay, he's all right. He's not a first round draft pick, and he's not a second round draft pick. So you got Will Levis out there for, let's say, who do we put him on? The Bears, or we put him on? Who do you want to put him on? Pittsburgh, Baltimore. You going to bet on him? You ever going to bet on Will Levis in a decent game? Baltimore is playing Pittsburgh. Will Levis is on one team. Are you betting on him? Fuck no. Are you betting on Richardson? Fuck no. Are you betting on Stroud? Fuck no. Who are you betting on? Well, Bennett, yeah, and Thompson Robinson, yeah, and Hooker, yeah. You put Hooker on Pittsburgh, I would bet Pittsburgh over Baltimore. You give me Thompson Robinson on Baltimore, I'm betting them over Pittsburgh. That's what you're looking at. That's how we analyze. Bobby always asks me, am I always looking at economics? Yeah, I always look at economics. I always look at football. But I'm very quick at it. So once I see what I'm looking for, or as we like to say, once I smell what the rock's cooking, I then know exactly what I want to do. It doesn't take me long to analyze. It takes me long to get off of trend analysis to defense analysis. That was beautiful when I had to figure it out. And it probably took me 1 week to figure out we want to bet the best defense, because that's where all the upsets happen, right? UCLA is playing Washington State. You better not play UCLA, and you better not play the game over, because Washington State's going to shut them out. And that's what they did against USC. I think USC won like 29-16. The over-under was in the 60s, and it was an easy under. But that's what you're looking for. Now, Utah, USC was over City. Neither team was going to play defense against these teams. So if Thompson Robinson lights up a good Utah defense and not a good USC defense, you got to be kidding me. What are you what are you looking at? I wish Rising was in the draft. He'd be the best quarterback. And see, that's where I would come in as a sleeper, right? Nobody's talking about him, like Hooker. Nobody's talking about him. I draft my first round. I get strong defensive player, Iowa State. Strong defensive player, Georgia. Strong defensive player, Washington State. And then I get Hooker in the second or third round, who's just sitting there, or I get Jay Kadner, who's just sitting there, and I don't have to blow a first-round pick. I got first-round talent, and I pick up Hayner, who's a first-round talent in the third and fourth round, or Thompson Robinson, or Hooker, whoever's on that board. And I'm laughing at the Stroud and the Alabama guy and the Richardson. I'm laughing at those and the Levis. I'm laughing at those picks, and I'm loving my pick. I picked up Stenson Bennett in the third round, or Hooker in the third round. What a fucking joke. And I was able to get first-round defensive talent. Now you play me. You're not putting up 30 points on me. You're putting up 10 if you're lucky. Look at Tennessee. They suck, but they have a good defense. Unfortunately, Joshua Dobbs doesn't know how to read a blitz, or they would have beat Jacksonville to get into the playoffs, I think. So that's what I'm looking at. So depending on what the team has. So San Diego, I've got the quarterback, the running back, the receivers. Maybe I need an offensive lineman, but I'm not going to waste a first-round pick on that. So who am I going after? I'm going after LC Greenwood, because I already got I got the strong defensive line, and I got Bosa. I can't think of the guy's name. Played on the Bears, played somewhere else, played at Oakland, the Bears, and now I just can't think of the name. So I'm going after LC Greenwood, and then I'm going after Jack Ham. If they have Jack Ham, Lambert, Blunt, or Greenwood on that team, they're not losing. And then they got to get a new coach. They're not losing. And you got to hope Kellen Moore runs the ball enough in the red zone and rests his defense. I'm sure the other one did, but I love how they blame the offensive coach. He put up 31 points. Hey, Bobby Bo. General Chow. I saved it for you. See, they fill up the whole box. Gets filled here with General Chow and broccoli. Which team am I talking about? Generally, I'm talking about the draft, and I'm copying the 70 Steelers. So I brought up the Lions. Now I'm talking San Diego, and I said they've got Bosa, and they got the other stud defensive linebacker, and they got the safety. But they got the quarterback, the running back, and the receivers. Oh, good. Now, was it healthy? Was it non-MSG? Was it not? If it was, then you're in business. No. Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator of San Diego. So, combining the Steelers to the San Diego Chargers, you've got Bosa, so you got Joe Green, and you got the other stud. I think he's a defensive end. And you got the safety guy who's always injured. But you've got the receivers, the quarterback, and the running back. So you've got Franco Harris. You've got this guy's Baron Bradshaw, and you got Swan and Stallworth. So you're done with San Diego. Maybe you pick up an offensive lineman in the third round, fourth round from Notre Dame or something. You pick up Jack Ham. You pick up Mel Blount. That's what San Diego needs to pick up in the draft. Those two players. And if you can get a Lambert or you get a Dwight White, you pick them up. So what I'm trying to do is translate the Steelers to the Chargers, because that's how you win. And what I'm saying is most of these teams are running after C.J. Stroud and Richardson and Levis. You got to be out of your fucking mind. So like I said, I would be picking Iowa State, Washington State, Georgia defensive players. Iowa, these superstar defensive players that are holding these explosive Pac-10 and Big 12 teams to, 15 points a game. I would run their defenses once I drafted them. And then I'd be going, so I'd go after them first, and then I'd just sit there and I'd go, oh, Hooker's still there in the third round. He put up 50 on Alabama. I think I'll take him. And if he's not there, I'll take Stenson Bennett. He won 2 national titles for Georgia, including the way he came back against Ohio State. He's a winner. Oh, he's there in the third round. You can have your C.J. Strouds and your Richardsons. They suck. Levis sucks. What did Levis do against Georgia? Oh, yeah, they got killed. What did Richardson do against Georgia? Oh, yeah, they got killed. Well, wait a minute. That's as close to a pro defense as you're ever going to see Georgia's, and these guys did shit. So what are they going to do in the NFL? What did Bennett do? He lit them up. He lit up Florida. He lit up, and then he lit up TCU, and he lights up LSU, and he lights up Ohio State for 40-some points. So they're looking at just look what C.J. Stroud did against Georgia. He didn't do shit against Georgia. It's the same thing that LSU did against Georgia. The quarterback ran on them. They weren't really prepared for it. And then when they played C.J. Stroud, he ran on them. So to say you ran on Georgia is not saying you really had a great game. Yeah, he had a few touchdowns, but basically, what did he do against Michigan? Oh, yeah, he didn't show up. They fucking lost to Michigan. So don't give me that. Shouldn't have even have been in the playoffs. It should have been Utah should have been there instead of Ohio State. They didn't deserve it. They lost to Michigan. Utah beat USC twice, and I think they won their championship game, if I remember. Yeah, because they were in the Rose Bowl. So Kellen Moore is the OC of San Diego. And I said he's got to be careful that he runs the ball enough to rest the defense, and he runs it in inside the 10. You got to run Eckert, and in that Jacksonville game, the only time they kicked the field goal, they didn't run Eckert. They threw 4 times. You can't throw 4 times inside the 10. You have to run at least 3, and then one of those plays better be a Dave Casper play action pass, hit the tight end wide open. Because if they're going to be that aggressive on the run, the tight end's going to be sitting there, having a hot dog going, I'm wide open. What the fuck? Throw it to me. Oh, he's the Chargers now. That's good for them. Maybe Herbert will live up to the height. Well, let's see what Dallas does without him, because Dallas is going to be fucked. Prescott, I was coming back on the airport shuttle. Or I was waiting at the gate, something like that. No, I think it was the shuttle. This guy has a Dallas cow. No, this is in Philly. We're shuttling to the gate because I had the F gate. A's international, and all the other ones are in the thing. And then F is the little plane. So I got him on the little plane. This guy has a big Dallas Cowboy star in his shirt. So I, of course, started talking football. And I kind of teased him about how bad Dak Prescott is. And he goes, yeah, I know. We know how bad he is. And so what I'm primarily talking about is if you got C.J. Stroud on Baltimore and you're playing Pittsburgh, are you going to bet him? Or are you going to bet him against Kansas City or Cincinnati? Are you going to bet C.J. Stroud against those teams? Fuck no. You going to bet Bennett or Hooker against them? Probably. I feel real comfortable betting Hooker against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Kansas City. Not a problem. Guy's a stud. He put up 50 on Alabama. At least he did that. C.J. Stroud put up 10 on Michigan. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, he lit up Georgia. Yeah, well, because they watched the LSU film and the guy ran all over him. And Georgia, by the way, Georgia still won by 20. So what are you talking about? So all of a sudden C.J. Stroud's good because he did Georgia, who was playing like crap, couldn't shut down LSU. Obviously, the running quarterback bothers Georgia. So you're going to say C.J. Stroud's this great quarterback who did he even throw for 50%? How about Bennett, who actually won the game with a long pass against Ohio State and then followed it up by killing TCU? Let's ignore him. He's not any good. How about Hooker, who put up 50 on Alabama? Well, let's ignore that. Everybody puts up 50 on Alabama, don't they? That's my point. What the hell are these guys looking at? So what I'm saying, Bobby, is your first thought is to draft Joe Green, Lambert, Ham, Mel Blount, Ronnie Lott, Lawrence Taylor. That's who you're going. Your first 5 rounds of the draft is getting players like that from Iowa and Iowa State and that. After you're going for a Stenson Bennett or a hooker, if you can get them in like the 4th round, you don't waste the first round pick on C.J. Stroud or Richard. What the fuck is Richardson even mentioned? Oh, he was fast in gym shorts. Well, whip-de-doo. Caleb Williams is the best. No, I disagree. I'll take Cam Rising. Thank you very much. He's playing a system, and we see what happens with Oklahoma's system. Who's that Arizona quarterback? Kyler Murray? Yeah, how's he doing in the NFL with the Oklahoma system? I'll take Cam Rising over Caleb Williams all day long. Cam Rising is the best quarterback in college football this year. Van Dyke, if he's not too screwed up, is right up there. And then we'll take a look at the other guys. But I can draft Jake Haidner in the 6th round. Maybe I don't even have to draft him. Are you kidding me? That guy is a fucking winner. I would think Jake Haidner is much better than C.J. Stroud or Richardson. Not even close. So I've given, and then you got Thompson Robinson, and you say, I've given you 4 guys that you can probably get in the 4th round. So you can get Joe Green, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Mel Blount, and then we can still grab we can grab Haidner, Bennett, or Hooker, or Thompson Robinson in the 4th round. And guess who goes to the Super Bowl next year? Bobby's team, right? You got me as your GM. We go to the Super Bowl with that mix, with that defense. I'm in the car listening to the Lions idiots, doing their football show. And, we might have to draft a receiver because we traded 2 guys for the 18th pick last year to get this guy from Alabama who sucks. And by the way, he just got caught for gambling on basketball in the facility. He couldn't wait till he was in his car, and he's going to sit out 6 games. What the fuck? This is the guy you want? That's like Ridley in Atlanta. So these Alabama guys, I'm sorry, they're a bunch of idiots. I really don't see what the guy in Oakland, ran over a guy and is in prison for killing somebody, or now he's in Vegas, whatever. Julio Jones had a pulled hamstring for 5 years. Devontae Smith is nothing. And Waddle is okay a little bit because he knows Tagliavua, and he's got Tyreek Hill on the other side. So that's it. We'll get 2 good wide receivers. Well, wait a minute. KC they let Hill go. They didn't really. They had the guy from Green Bay, and then they have Kelsey. Wait a minute. They won the Super Bowl without good receivers, just a good tight end. How did that work? So wait a minute. What happened to Miami? Oh, they didn't make the playoffs with the Alabama receiver and then Tyreek Hill. Okay, so that obviously works well to get 2 good receivers. And apparently, if you just have a good tight end who knows how to play basketball and knows how to back up, like box out, and then he's always open, and you got a quarterback like Mahomes, there you go. Bobby's guy, he's going to get, 12 Super Bowls, Bobby? Something like that. The Lions should get rid of Goff and grab Hooker. I totally agree. What they should do is trade Goff to get the best defensive player on Iowa State, Washington State, Iowa, Illinois, or Georgia. Like I said in the beginning, I would just make a list. There's the top 3 or 4 guys on Georgia, Iowa State, Iowa, Illinois, Washington State, and Oregon State's defense. And just put them in order, 1 to 16, and just draft number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, Hooker's still on the board, or Haidner, or Thompson Robinson, or Bennett. Whoever's on the board in the 4th round is who I'm taking. And look who's in the playoffs next year. Our team. Because the Lions, they want to draft another wide receiver because this guy who played in 1 game and caught 1 pass. Oh, wait, there was a touchdown against Green Bay that got called back because of holding. Well, then quarterback never would have got rid of the ball. So you can't just ignore the penalty. But basically, what are you talking about? you don't waste your first round on wide receivers unless his name's Lynn Swan. Otherwise, they're all bust. Basically, get a wide receiver in the third, fourth round from TCU. That guy was incredible. Even Georgia, fuck their tight end. I don't think he's out this year. Next year, that guy's great. So, I mean, that's who you got. But you got a chance to get Stenson Bennett, who won 2 national. If the guy played on Alabama, they won 2 national titles. He'd be in the Hall of Fame now. But no, he played for Georgia. That's right. So he doesn't count. What the fuck are you talking about? So I don't look at Joe Burrow. He had one great year, and he's him and I'll give you Mahomes. Him and Mahomes are the best 2 quarterbacks, and that's what I'm talking about, Bobby. Is those guys are who you bet on, right? I'm gonna bet on anytime that Joe Burrow's a dog, we're betting the house on it. Anytime Mahomes is a dog, we're betting the house on it. Not necessarily Josh Allen. Those 2, maybe Herbert. Russell Wilson, now he's at a good team with Sean Payton. I think they're live dogs. Aaron Rodgers will be on the Jets. Are they going to be there? With that defense, they'll be live dogs. And then you got New England. Yeah. I don't understand it. I hear these guys talking about, well, they'll get rid of Mac Jones. They've got Zappy. Maybe they'll draft a quarter. They've got Zappy. What did we not watch Zappy for 3 games, light it up and win? And what part am I missing there that they have Zappy? Get rid of Jones and start Zappy. It's not that hard, but I don't blame anybody. I wouldn't want Jones. Oh, by the way, he played for Alabama and he sucked. Well, the Lions will never sign Goff because I think his contract gets ballooned next year. And what I said about the Lions is they won't pay the second round. Like, look at Darius Slay, right? First contract was up. They let him go. They're talking about Regnell they'll have to pay next year and Tyler Lewan and, they're not going to pay him. They don't pay the guys in the second contract because then it's going to cost them a lot of money. But the Lions don't pay anybody a lot of money whose name isn't Ford. And then I'm saying the Lions won't even own the Fords won't even own the Lions in a year or 2 because Say's Law. We want Mustangs. Well, we're not going to sell them to you. We're going to sell you electric cars. And the demand is like this. And they're going to say, well, wait, we can't sell. We can't sell them. They lost $200 billion in the first quarter with electric cars because sales are 0. Who the fuck's going to buy a Ford electric car? I wouldn't buy a Ford gas car. Not going to buy a Ford electric car. I work there. I know they're as screwed up as the football team. So you got to be out of your mind to buy a Ford. But an electric car, yeah, how long is it going to take till my battery runs out? Oh, and by the way, silver's now $2,000 an ounce, so we can't make batteries anymore. What are you going to buy when your battery runs out? You ain't going to be able to get a new battery, and if it is, it ain't going to be silver 25 an ounce. It's going to be silver 2,000 an ounce. How expensive is that battery going to be? It's going to cost you $25,000 for a new battery. If the other one didn't catch on fire and destroy the car, you got to be fucking out of your mind. Anyway, first part of the class, Bobby, we were talking about trends. And I said, I can't do New England anymore because Brady's not there. So all the New England trends have now changed. They were Brady trends. Brady moves on. You can't take them. Indy had Manning. He moves to Denver. You can't use Indy and Denver anymore. Russell Wilson moves to Denver. You can't take Denver until you get more Russell Wilson. That was my point about trends. So when these idiot gold guys look at a trend and go, well, this is what happened in 2008, so this is what's going to happen here. You can never use old trends because of Brady's not there, Manning's not there, Russell Wilson's not there. You can never use, you can use KC because Mahomes and Reed are still there. It's probably the only trend you could use in San Diego are those 2. Josh Allen's getting where you can start using Buffalo trends. Good luck on the Niners because they switch quarterbacks all the time. Who the Rams know, the Lions, you just bet against them all the time. There's very few teams that have the quarterback and coach in play for 3 years to use trends. Why would you use gold trends? And they're all in COMEX, the trends, right? This is COMEX. Well, look at 2008, gold went from here to here. So it's going to do that now. Based on what? What variables are you looking at to say what happened in 2008 and 9 and 10 with gold is going to happen now? Especially when we go and we blow up COMEX and now it's physical gold. Show me a trend where you have physical gold any time before, because there's never been a physical gold free market. It's always been COMEX controlled market. And now finally we've got COMEX blown up. We finally are going to have a physical gold market. And it ain't going to, if you think it's 3,000 an ounce, you're out of your fucking mind. It ain't going to be close. You're going to add a zero to it. All right. So 30,000, and that'll be minimum. And then, by the way, when the dollar goes out and it's just gold by itself, you're going to be a millionaire, because it's not going to go down because there is no dollar. It's going to go through the roof because everybody's piling in the gold. The demand's going to be huge. And for my Nick question, can I be able to sell it when the price goes up? Can I sell gold when the price goes up? So now it's 30,000 an ounce. Am I going to be able to sell it? What? The demand's through the roof. It's physical now. You'll be able to sell it for 60,000 an ounce. Can you sell a Rolex? If you have a $50,000 Rolex, can you sell it? Of course. So what the fuck kind of question is that? No offense, Nick. It's just, of course you'll be able to sell it. There'll be a line out the door, believe me, and go on eBay. Bobby, yeah, I hear a lot of so-called experts saying gold will hit 3,600 this year. And when you go, why? It's because of the chart of what happened in 2008. And this is nothing. You didn't have the inflation. We're not the reserve currency anymore. All these countries dumpy dollars. And you're going to go with the same chart that you used because there was a housing crisis, because people that should never have gotten loans got loans. And then they couldn't afford them when the variable rate goes up, because they bought variable rates because they know what they're doing, because half of them were hookers in Vegas buying 4 houses, trying to turn them over. So this is nothing like 2008. Bobby, by the way, eating burger and half of an avocado right now. Well, I got a little avocado left. I had to go to the grocery store, and I finished the General Chow. Now, when you get your General Chow, do you get the hot mustard? This is so good, this hot mustard. But there's the General Chow. It was all full, probably 25 pieces. And then I got a little avocado left. So I'm at the grocery store, and I'm buying my veggies, my red leaf lettuce, my peppers. I don't see inflation on what I'm buying. It's like you said, Professor, they're still betting on New England without Brady. Yeah, and Indy without Manning, and without Andrew Luck. And, I don't even think they understand the point of when the coaches change, and when it's okay when Manning is there and you change coaches, right? You're still going to win because Manning's the coach, or Brady's the coach, right? On Tampa last year, killed them. I'm not sure if they have the honey mustard. It's not honey mustard. It's hot mustard. It's like, I don't know. She makes it herself, but it's hot mustard, not honey. They usually just ask duck sauce or soy sauce. I need to ask for, no, it's not honey mustard. Look, Bobby. It's like this. This Grey Poupon is hot mustard, not honey mustard. This is what you want, whatever they make it, not honey mustard. You don't want the honey. You want it hot, and it goes well with the General Chow. A hot mustard. Do you pot it over the chicken and white rice? Exactly. So it comes in a container, right? So it comes like this, right? And I just pour it. It's all neatly in the thing. I just pour it over it, and then I kind of shuffle it up so I get some honey mustard. It's really hot. You don't want to eat it by itself. You make sure that chicken's there, and it is fucking hot. I mean, you are really in trouble. But just buy this, the Grey Poupon Dijon, this is hot mustard, buy that. So anyway, that's the whole point of the draft is these teams don't know what they're doing. You've got to go Greenwood, Lambert, Ham, and Mel Blount and Mike Wagner. That's your thinking. Lawrence Taylor, Ronnie Lott, Reggie White. That's who you're drafting. CJ Stroud, what the fuck are you wasting a first-round pick on CJ Stroud or Richardson for? Or Levis? Why is the quarterback key? I guarantee you, I'll make anybody bet that wants to bet me. Houston takes CJ Stroud with the 2 pick. Houston will be picking first next year. Indy takes Richardson with the 3rd pick. Indy will be drafting second behind Houston next year. Neither team, if they start those quarterbacks, will get 14 points a game. Okay? I'll bet anybody you want. Not a problem. Absolutely. Carolina, another big stupid mistake. And the team that gets Hooker and the team that gets Thompson Robinson and Bennett are the teams I'm going to be betting on as live dogs. Okay? But if CJ, let's say here, CJ Stroud for Houston, and Houston's playing Kansas City. All right? KC's a 10-point favorite. Are you betting Houston with CJ Stroud, or you're betting the house on Kansas City? Because Houston can't score. Richardson goes to Indianapolis. They play San Diego. San Diego's laying 7. How much are you putting on San Diego -1? Because there's no way this Richardson guy's going to score on San Diego. Bosa will kill him if Bosa plays. Khalil Mack, that's the other half. So they got Bosa, Khalil Mack, and I think I don't remember the guy from Florida. I can remember the safeties from Florida State, but I think Derwin James. So you got those 3. All you need now is Dwight White, Ham, Lambert, and Mel Blount. That's what you focus on, San Diego. You've got Franco, you've got a better than here and than Bradshaw, and you got Swan and Stallworth already. Maybe you need an alignment and go after those defensive players, and San Diego will kill Kansas City. Well, they need a new coach. Their coach sucks. But that's it. I mean, why San Diego keeps their coach who blew the lead and he gets rid of the offensive coordinator. Well, wait a minute. They scored 31 points. They're up 27-0 with all the interceptions. It ain't the offensive coach's fault they lost to Jacksonville. You should be fired for losing to Trevor Lawrence and not keep blitzing the guy. You changed your scheme in the second half. You've shut him out. You changed your scheme. You should be fired. You don't know what you're doing. You're incompetent. What else? So, Daria, I heard from today, thank God. She said that her daughter went to her friend's house and disappeared. And her phone died, and she didn't hear from her, and she freaked out, and her blood pressure went high. And I think she's got her back. She called the police. The police wanted to see her. So the whole thing, so she was sick, panicking because where's my daughter? And we're talking Russia. You lose your daughter in Russia, you're probably not getting her back. So that's where she was. And then I knew, then she said, did you PayPal me? So I knew that little carrot would get her to talk. And I did PayPal her. So I just want to make sure. So she's okay. Thank God. But I said, don't ever do that to me again. I can't go a week or 8 days without hearing from you. Now, the ironic part was I was in Barcelona. So if any week not to hear from her was the week I'm with Jenna in Barcelona and, enjoying that. So that was okay. So anyway, that's all good. I went to the library and I did all my unemployment bullshit. So it asked me where I live. So I put down the cities and I had to put Alabama down. But then they said, just put your jobs that you have on your resume for the last 7 years, which was 3 jobs. Anyway, so all that's done. I'm not worried because it's not really for Harley Davidson. It's for the contract house. They don't care. They've got me. They're not worried about it. So we should be starting the 5th. So I'm excited about that if I can fix my back. My back felt fine last night. All of a sudden, it loosened up, and I was so excited. And then it tightened back up. And this morning I wake up and it's tight and I can barely walk. And then I went to the grocery store to get shit. And finally, it's starting to loosen up, and I'll go hit the hot tub when I'm done here. Anyway, so that's that. So the draft, the team, the mistakes, how we look at it is who we're going to bet on. That's how we look at it. So do you want to bet on Richardson or do you want to bet on Stetson Bennett, who we've been betting on the last 2 years, who won us a fortune? Do we want to bet on Hooker, who beat Alabama, or do we want to bet on Richardson or Stroud? Who do you want to bet on? Stroud cost us against Michigan. And we won a ton of money on Hooker as a home dog to Alabama. So who do you want to bet on? Do you really want to take the Alabama linebacker who gave up 50 points to Hooker? You think he's any good? Really? Okay, good luck with that one. Get your defensive players. If I'm the Lions, I'm trading, like Bobby said, I'm getting rid of Goff. This Williams, I would trade him. He's too stupid. He bets on basketball at the facility. Yeah, this is the guy I want. He probably won't even run the right route. It's another wasted first-round receiver. You don't draft them. Unless his name's Lynn Swann, you're not drafting receivers in the first round. They don't work out. They never do. They never will. There's no point in wasting the first-round pick. Get your Franco Harris, but get your defense. There's so many good players out there. That's all you need. The Lions have the offense. They scored 30 a game, except for when they played a big game like Carolina or, what was it? There was a few others that they struggle with. But their defense sucked. They played Seattle, and Seattle never punted in the game. This is the NFL. That's not acceptable in college. That's not acceptable at Michigan State. They never punted in the game with Geno Smith. Are you kidding me? So my point is that I'd be getting defense. I'm hearing the announcers on the radio go, well, they can right now. They're great because they picked up some free agent cornerbacks who you have no idea if they're going to be any good on the Lions, and then you're going to pick them up. And he says, well, now we can pick the best player available. And how do you know who the best player available is? You've got to take the best player who's on your need, your defensive line, your linebackers, and your secondary. That's who you need to take the best player. You need to take the best defensive player, maybe. To take the best player who's a running back or a wide receiver or a tight end, what good's that going to do? You score 30 points a game. You don't need that. You need to stop the other team. That's how you win games. And you don't do that. So you're going to give up. You're going to play. No, you'll be a great over team. You'll score 30 and give up 30 like you did last year. And that's okay. We'll make a fortune on you like we did last year. So, I mean, that's really where you're at. By taking Houston and Indy, by taking quarterbacks are huge mistakes where they're going to take it. Get some defense, get your Joe Greens. Then in the third, fourth round, you can get Stetson Bennett or you can get Hooker and still get your good, strong defensive players because you're going to need the defensive players, Houston and Indy and Carolina, to be successful. Not C.J. Stroud and Richardson aren't going to – like I said, if Houston takes C.J. Stroud and if he touches the field – they'll have the number 1 pick next year. And if Richardson's drafted and plays at all, they're not going to win a game. So I'll wait, Howard. Bradshaw sucked his first few years. Then he got better. He sucked through so many. That one championship game against Oakland, the icy one in Pittsburgh, he threw 8 interceptions. What the fuck is that? Against the Cowboys, he got stripped and threw some interceptions there. Threw some interceptions against the Rams. This guy sucked. He didn't win the games. Joe Green, Lambert, Ham, they won the games, and Franco Harris. Franco Harris beat Minnesota in the Super Bowl by himself. He beat Dallas in that 35-31 Super Bowl by himself. Franco won those games. If he didn't have Franco, they wouldn't have won. They wouldn't have probably won any of them. You need to run the ball and you need to play defense, and that will never change. The 60 Packers, the 70 Steelers, the 80 Niners did not win until they had the defense with Ronnie Lott and Williamson. Then they got Hacksaw Reynolds and Dean. Then they won. And by the way, the best player to ever play on defense, Lawrence Taylor, he won 2 Super Bowls. Even with Phil Simms, he won Super Bowls. Well, actually, he won Simms once, and then he won the other one with Hostetler. And he beat the Niners with Montana to go for the three-peat by stripping Roger Craig and running him out and losing his card value, because now he's a choke because you don't know where Lawrence Taylor is and you let him strip you. And all you got to do is just take a fucking knee. You don't even have to run. You're not going to gain any yards. If you're going to run the ball up the middle, and I blame the coach and I blame Steve Young, you're out of. Steve Young should have rolled out, should have play action it and ran around Lawrence Taylor. That's what the play should have been, or the Dave Casper play. But you don't run Roger Craig into Lawrence Taylor. Wonder why he fumbled. That's how you win. Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys. New England won when they had with Teddy Bruschi and the Ohio State guy, can't even think, and the Michigan cornerback and all. When they had the best defenses when Brady won. It had nothing to do with Brady in the beginning. It had to do with Brady against Seattle, but they gave up a lot of points in that game. Legion of Boom comes in. They win the Super Bowl. Should have won 2. That's where you win. You do not win, Montana, why didn't he win in 82 and 83? They didn't have the defense. 85, they didn't even get into the playoffs, I don't think. The 85 Bears beat they beat the Giants and the Rams. The Niners weren't even in there. I think Montana got hurt. So without Montana, the Niners didn't do anything. But with Lawrence Taylor, they didn't even need Phil Simms to win their Super Bowl. So that's what you got to go after, are those players. That's who you draft. When you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pick, it's Lawrence Taylor, man. And you got to find it. Like, nobody knew Lawrence Taylor when he was drafted. Nobody knew. He was in North Carolina. I mean, believe me, I didn't know. Nobody knew that, well, this guy's going to be the best linebacker ever to play. Or Ronnie Lott, yeah, we thought he'd be good. I don't know about the Packers. The Steelers, you never heard of Joe Green. He was at North Texas State. Or Ham, you might have heard of at Penn State. But like Franco Harris, he wasn't even the lead back at Penn State. It was, whatchamacallit? I talked about him earlier. Anyway, Franco wasn't even the best. It was the guy who played for Baltimore. God, let me rewind the tape and I'll see, because I had him before. So you never would have saw Jack Ham. You never would have saw Jack Lambert. You never would have saw Mel Blount. He went to a small college. L.C. Greenwood. They found the players, so they're out there. And then you got to run the scheme. So as I say, I would take the best guy out of Georgia, Iowa State, Washington State, Oregon State, and Illinois, and then I would run their defense. I'd say, okay, I'd draft some guys out of Washington State just to run their defense, because it was incredible. Or the Iowa State defense. I'd love to run that, because, I mean, they're beating the whole Big 12 scores 40 a game. It was over city, and they're holding the team. They hold Kansas to 14. Nobody else came close to holding them to 14. Remember the Arkansas bowl game? It was like 44-40. But Iowa State hold them to 14 points. Anyway, that's how you draft. You draft the defense. You win with the defense. Okay, KC wins with Mahomes, and their defense is but that's the exception. How many Mahomes are out there? Joe Burrow, Mahomes. Okay. Maybe Herbert, maybe Russell Wilson with Sean Payton. Find me another quarter. It ain't Pickett. It ain't Fields. It ain't going to be these clowns this year. Maybe Hooker, maybe Bennett, and maybe Hayner can be studs. Hayner, he's a sleeper. I'd pick that guy up. If he's around in the 7th round, I'm picking Hayner up. He's better than Purdy by a long shot, okay? And we saw what Purdy did. So I hope Purdy plays next year, and we can bet a lot on Frisco. If they play Lads, I don't want anything to do with that guy. We don't even know who he is. He played 1 year as a freshman, and they drafted him third. And then you want to say how good the San Francisco GM is by picking that guy in the third trading and getting the guy in the third pick. And the guy played what, one game and broke his ankle, and then this is the guy. I'd get rid of that guy real quick. Anyway, that's what you have. Gold and silver. Haven't talked much about that. We did a lot yesterday. Anyway, again, any of these guys using trends, as Bobby's saying and I'm saying, just run. Don't walk. Run away from them. They don't know what they're doing. You can't get all the variables captured. What happened in '08 was COMEX, and that's not going to happen now. We're betting on no more COMEX. That's why it's going through the roof. That's the key that wasn't there in '08. When these guys say $3,000 gold, they're out of their fucking mind. Add a zero to it. It's 30,000. Once it hits physical and it's been depressed for 50 years, and they let they let the ball out of the water, it's gonna jump way. People ask me, well, do you think it'll go 3,000, 4,000? No, I think it hits 10,000 and on its way to 20,000 very, very quickly. You'll see if they let it go to market, it goes 10, 15, 20 in 2 weeks. And then, because once it hits and people realize they've been duped, and I'm trying to tell you, you're getting duped in gold. It's COMEX keeping the price down, not the market. You want when the market keeps the price down, not when, if the market says it's low, then it's low. If it's being suppressed by paper fake gold derivatives that don't have any physical, and that's why the price is low, that's a whole different story. So we're going to see very high gold, and just buy as much as you can. Now with the new job, I can probably stop by the gold store, at least buy some more silver if he has it. He ran out and he had very little gold, so anyway, so let's see what else. Back's a little stiff. So I did a 25-hour fast yesterday. I ate at 4:00 Taco Bell because I was so sore and tired from the plane. I didn't eat yesterday till 5:30 when I picked up the Chinese, and it was General Chow. So it was a very healthy. And again, I only ate half of it because once you start eating it, that was it. And there's nothing in it to make you keep eating it. So I ate that. That was it. I didn't get a diet pop. Normally I get like a diet Pepsi with it as a treat. Chinese diet. I didn't get the diet Pepsi. I had the water. And I was proud of myself today at the grocery store. I didn't pick up like a Verner's or a Faygo or anything. No, I had Taco Bell at 4 p.m. on Friday when I flew back. So I got in about 3:30 into Detroit, 3:30 in the afternoon. So I had left. The flight left at 9 o'clock out of Barcelona, which is really 3 in the morning Eastern, our time, Bobby. Got into Philadelphia at noon, which is noon. So it was a 7-hour flight, but I got there early, so it's 9 hours. Then I got to Philly. I had an hour and a half wait, and then I get into Detroit 3:30. I am sore as hell from the thing. I want to go to the grocery store. I don't think I can walk in the grocery store with my back. So I just pull in the Taco Bell, and I got one of those. I don't even know what you call them. They're the soft white tortillas or whatever, filled with chicken. So I got 2 of those, and that was dinner. And then I was just tired and I went to sleep. So I ate at let's say 4:30, and then yesterday's 5:30. So it was 25 hours because I ate so early because I was so screwed up with time. I don't know what time it was. So really 4 o'clock was 10 o'clock body time, right? Because I was 6 hours ahead of everything. And I ate a little on the plane, but going to Philadelphia. But that was 7, 8 hours earlier. So I did a 25. My back started feeling better at night, and then I slept on it, and it tightened up again. There's something about my bed when the way I sleep, it just tightens it up. So I got to be more careful. That reminds me, I did my clothes. They're sitting in the washer. I got to take them out before they all wrinkle up, but I just emptied my suitcase into the washer. But I'm okay. I did about an hour, about 11-ish before the show, and I just remembered I got in there. Usually I hang my shirts and pants, and then I dry my underwear and my socks. I don't care. They're okay. So that's what it is. So it's a 25-hour. I ate the Chinese yesterday and today, and then my plan, I really want to do a 90-hour fast for my back. 48, 96. That's a 4-day fast. So I'm thinking I'll eat tonight. Well, I kind of add dinner. I'll eat after swim, if I can even swim. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I won't eat. And then Thursday night, I'll have dinner. Problem is, I just went to the grocery store and bought a lettuce, and I bought a lot of veggies. And so I'll see about that, because I want to, if you wait 4 days on your veggies, then it was really stupid to buy them now. But I wanted to have a salad for dinner. So we'll see. But for sure, I want to fast tomorrow and Tuesday. And maybe I'll eat Wednesday lunch or something. But I really want to heal my back. Again, I did a stretch in the pool yesterday. So there's stairs leading into the pool where I swim laps and run. And I put my right leg on the third step. So it was a little bit above my waist. And I go to lifeguard, God, does this feel good? And it kind of loosened me. It kind of loosened. Right now, my right butt is like this. And it goes up a little higher into the back. And it's just like this. So I'm trying to loosen it. So I take the hot tub and I take the pills. And when I stretched like that, it released. I could feel that. I go, wow, does this feel good? And I was able to walk pretty good after that. I didn't even go back in the hot tub. I didn't want to fuck it up. So I went and I showered, and I was pretty much able to walk with a little bit of pain. So I'm going to try that again today. I'll hot tub it and I'll go back in there and stretch it. Really, I have no idea. Now, here's where I get into trouble. So I asked one lifeguard, should I go to a chiropractor or a massage? So one girl says, get a deep massage. One girl says, my friend went to a chiropractor and she broke 3 bones in her back. Oh, yeah, I'm going to run to a chiropractor after hearing that. She broke her back? Are you fucking, what kind of chiropractors are these? So I'm really scared of going to a chiropractor. I'll probably try to get a deep massage, but I'm definitely afraid of them on my back and my butt doing a deep tissue massage. It'll fucking kill me. So I don't know. I think I'll try to get a good massage with that if I can find somebody. So they scare you. The regular doctor, what's he going to do? He's, take this pill, take some extra. It's just going to cost me money for nothing. Not good value. So we'll see. But I think I'll try the massage first and see if that. Basically, I got to get this loose is the problem. So again, I was really happy to hear from Daria this morning. Again, what was funny is she said they called the police and they looked for her, and I guess she went. I don't get it. She goes to her friends and her phone dies. Her friend doesn't have a charger. Like, what happened that she couldn't come back from the friends? So I'm really like, now I know it's Russia, so I know there's a lot of bad guys there. So I'm trying to get the whole story for everybody. But so Dario was freaking out. They didn't know where she was. And her friend, who had texted me in Russian, said, I don't know English, so I didn't want to keep texting him Russian, which I said, that's fine, because I just go into that translator. And then she asked, of course, about the PayPal. And so I asked her, so is your daughter home? Is she okay? What the fuck really happened? So I'll wait to hear from that. But when she always is nice and thank you for the PayPal and everything. So anyway, I'm very happy to hear it. But see, that's where you get fucked up. Like, why did it take you a week to text me? And I guess her blood pressure was high, and the police, and I don't know. Again, different cultures, you get different pieces of information. Anyway, so I'm finally glad I heard from her. What else? Gold and silver watch this week should go through the moon. It should start. They're running out of supply, the supply is down. And then if demand is here and supply is here, price goes way up because there's more people. There's 10 people bidding on 5 gold bars. They're going to bid it up. Keep your eye on eBay. See what it is there. You can't really go on gold right now. It's closed until probably like when China opens up. So about 8 o'clock tonight, go on it and you'll see what's happening. But then 10 o'clock, the crunch hits when London fills all the demand orders. Who called the cops? Daria called the cops because she said, my daughter's didn't come home. So that's why she's freaking out. The blood pressure goes up. It's Russia, so their mentality is totally different. So she went to her friends and then never got home, but then her phone died. So now she can't get a hold of her. And so she goes to her friends, the phone dies. I can't get a hold of my daughter. She's either dead or the mafia has her. And that's why she freaked out. That's why she called the cops. Then a couple of days later, the cops are looking for her, called Daria into the cop station to question what's going on. And then I think that the daughter's home. And then that was the question I asked her. So your daughter's okay. She's home. What the fuck happened? Like, why didn't she just come home from her? So she goes to her friends. Why didn't she come home? So this will be a curious thing. I've been to the chiropractor. It's not too bad. I got neck and hip adjustments. Well, give me your chiropractor because I'm not going to the one who broke this girl's back in 3 places. So I think it's like anything else, like pitching or quarterback. Depends who you got. You got Mahomes, I want to go to him. You got Trevor Lawrence, I probably don't want to go to him. I tried cupping not too long ago as well, but I definitely will be getting a massage soon. Well, I think I'm going to get the massage first and see what they can do with my back. I mean, it kind of loosens up. So when I woke up, I couldn't walk. I was just in my bed. It just tightened up. Then I went to the grocery store because I'm out of groceries. So I'm getting my veggies, my yellow and orange peppers, my eggs, everything. So I go there and I'm hanging onto the cart like a 90-year-old man. I can barely straighten up. And as I walk more, my ass starts loosening up. And then I'm pretty much able to put the cart in front and I'm able to walk into the parking lot. And when I got home, I was able to actually walk from the car to my door with my groceries. So it got better and better and better. So I find if I lay too much, it tightens up. So if I sit up, I'm better. So I'm going to go from here. Like I said, I'll go to the hot tub and that'll help. And go to the cold water and just do some stretches and see what that does. Anyway, so the Chinese was dinner yesterday and lunch. And it's funny, I had about 10 pieces of chicken. And keep in mind, this whole container is full of chicken, right? There's probably 30 of them. So I eat 10 and I'm like, okay. Before, my mentality when I was not doing this type of eating, I'd eat the whole fucking thing. Now I eat 10 or 15 because I'm not having chips and Oreos and ice cream. I did on the trip. So yesterday was a little bit hard because I went 25 hours cold turkey after having shit on the plane. A roll and a little piece of cake that goes unmentionable. But I had no choice. I was hungry. So I did that. Now at the grocery store looking at prices. So I got my dark chocolate, which is over there, and I'm not going to go get it. So I got I think it's 92 Caravellis, I think, and it was $3.50. And then I looked at the other dark chocolates, and they're all $3.50. So wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. But it was buy one get the second one at half price. So I quickly do $3.50 and $1.70 is $5.10. So that's like $2.50 a bar. And I go, oh, that's cheap. It should be $2.99. I'm going to buy 2 bars. When I go to Walmart, I buy 5. So I'm like, because it's $1.98 for Swiss chocolate at Walmart's. That's 90% chocolate or cocoa. So I buy 5 of them because I'm there and I don't go to Walmart's as much. So I did that, and so you can see how you can't do inflation with prices, because you say, "Oh, the candy bar is up to 350. Look at the inflation," but they can't sell it, which is my point to you guys. If you don't buy it, they have to put it on sale because they only stay in business if I keep buying it. But if you don't, if you mark the price too high, so if the price is here, the ribs, and we're down here, we don't buy it. So they have to give you the second one half off to get it down to the 250 for the $3 dark chocolate is what you'll pay for the bar. So you go up to 350, you have to give the second one half. That's why you can't look at prices for inflation. And so that's what'll happen. So now what's going to happen? What are they going to price things at? See, this is the most unique thing. When they fuck the dollar up, how are you going to price the dark chocolate now? Now we're in a different world. How do I price everything? What did the Romans do? They did it in silver and gold. That's how they priced their food, was in silver. The houses were in gold and stuff like that, but they didn't have cars or car insurance to worry about. But yeah, that's how they priced it, in silver. But they had an ounce of silver, a half ounce silver, like a dollar, a half dollar, a quarter, a dime, a nickel, and a penny. That's how Rome did gold and silver. So an apple might be 1 ounce of silver, or 1/10 of a penny of silver, or nickel of silver. And that's where we're going to get to. That is the reserve currency, and that's what it should be, not the bullshit. We're going to print dollars, because then you have corruption. Oh, I'm JP Morgan. I'm going to print $1 billion. Well, you can't do it with gold and silver. You can't just print it. That's why they don't like it. That's why the dragon says, I'm going to take it, because I can. I mean, that's the problem with it. Bobby, you tried cupping. Okay. Yeah, I see people with the cups on. I'm never going to try. Now, one lady at the airport told me to try acupuncture. Any thought on acupuncture, Bobby? Did you try that on your neck and shoulders and stuff like that? Neck and hip. Did you try acupuncture on your neck and hip? Did it work? So you're the main guy, being the professional athlete. You'd tried everything to get healthy, or did you just do steroids like McGuire and I'm not going to say Barry did steroids. He didn't need to. McGuire, yeah. Sosa, yeah. But, and then why would Clemens? I still don't understand what it's like taking an aspirin. It's like taking the ibuprofen, right? It healed my backs so I could walk. It doesn't make me a better baseball player. It doesn't make me hit the ball any better. It's not like I'm Superman where now I can see the ball better. It just makes me healthier. So I don't know. They're really stupid, these idiot people keeping these guys out of the Hall of Fame. So anyway, watch what happens with gold and silver. Stay away from the guys with the trends. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're the same guys who want to take C.J. Stroud with the second pick for Houston and then watch Houston get the first pick next year. I think Roger did it more for the longevity. Yeah. Why did Barry do it if he did it? I'm not saying he did it, but he didn't need to do it. That was really strange. He was hot without it. McGuire was just injured, so I don't know. He was pitching hard into his 40s. Well, so did Brady. Did Brady do steroids? Or he ate all the healthy foods, right? See, there you go. If McGuire and Clemens would have done our fasting, they'd still be playing. So anyway, watch gold this week. I didn't see much of it. I saw a bunch of the U.S. won't end the war with Russia. It's the U.S. versus Russia, not the Ukraine. And the U.S. wants to keep the war going, and Putin doesn't even want to keep the war going. Everybody hates Putin for keeping the war going. And it's the U.S., and it's crazy. The U.S. sounds like a bunch of little babies that we want the war to keep going, or, and what's happening in Europe, they're all like bailing out. I saw Germany and France going to China because Germany's auto companies and their big BASF, the chemical, get most and sell most to China. So they're getting away from the U.S. going, well, we'll do business with you. And the same thing with France is going to do business with China because the U.S. is screwing everybody. So the U.S. This is why I'm like, maybe I'll move to Spain or Portugal because I don't want to stay here. I don't like what I see. I don't like what we're doing. What are we doing? You have, we're the 75 Steelers. What the fuck are we doing? We have the best team, and yet we're caught cheating or something. It's insane. And then all of a sudden we'll be the Lions. And I don't want to live in a country called the Lions. I'd rather live in a country with the Steelers or the Niners are the Kings. So we got big problems there. Barry was annoyed that Sosa and Mark got more credit, and Barry thought, I'll show them how it's done if they want to go that route. And he did by annihilating both their records with ease. Yeah. Well, I think he got the record I think he beat Babe Ruth for the record for most walks in a season. You couldn't even pitch to the guy. But it was exciting to see McGuire hit 75 home runs. And then Barry hit, 80? But we can't have him in the Hall of Fame. He did start. I mean, I don't understand the best hitter ever to play besides maybe Babe Ruth, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and then Pete Rose, 4,000 hits, not in the Hall. What's the point of the Hall of Fame then? I mean, that's and the NFL Hall of Fame, I sit there and I look at the players they put in, and I to quote you, I shake my head going, well, this guy's not a Hall of Famer. Marshall Faulk is not a Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, maybe he was a good quarterback, but so you shake your head that they devalue the Hall of Fame by putting these guys in that aren't Hall of Famers, but they're all TV commentators on these networks, so they vote themselves in. The whole thing's stupid. Great point, Professor. He was getting intentionally walked at a record rate. I mean, they didn't even pitch to him. And how many balls did he put in San Francisco Harbor? That was just insane. But, I just don't. So why he's not in the Hall of Fame? Because what did steroids have to do with anything? It didn't give him a better eye. He could hit the ball a mile, and you had to walk him. So I don't get where steroids plays a role. This is what you got with liberal writers, right? They're all fucking communist liberals, and they all sit there with he cheated, so we can't have him in because he cheated. When the writers are cheating right and left, right? WWE has the comedian Drew Carey in their Hall of Fame. There you go. The good old WWE, WWF, whatever it is. Well, I mean, the point of the Hall of Fame is for players who played. If Barry hit 760 home runs, he probably should be in. If Rose hit 4,000, well, wait a minute. Rose bet on games. Okay, so you suspended him, but he was doing it as a manager, and he bet on Cincinnati, not against them. Now, if he bets against them, that's a problem. But isn't Paul Hornung in the Hall of Fame? He bet for Green Bay. So why is he not in what does that have to do with, why is Pete Rose not allowed in the Hall of Fame when he bet as a manager, so put him in as a player? You cheapened it. Well, he's the best hitter, is not even in the Hall of Fame. Then what's the point? It's just like the 1919. You watch 8 Men Out, and you're scratching your head going, "Hey, they were the stupidest team I've ever seen. Who fixes games and doesn't get paid for them?" That was just, and then why was Joe Jackson hit 400 in the World Series? Why was he, suspended? Or they're good players. You need them. The integrity of baseball. What integrity? There's no integrity. Nobody thinks it's all fixed anyway. Now with the stupid clocks, I won't even watch baseball now. It's just too stupid. A pitch clock and a hitting clock. What am I watching? I mean, that's not baseball. I don't know what sport that is, and I'm not gonna waste my time watching it. So I'll get too frustrated, and I don't want to get frustrated. It's hard enough. See, and then they're trying to speed the game up. Well, if they didn't have 10 minutes of commercials between half innings, you would have the 2 hour games. You don't need to speed it up and then add commercial time. So what you should do is make the commercials double in cost. So if the networks are, or whoever, Budweiser is paying 500,000 for the between inning commercial, charge them 1 million. That speeds the game up because now you can cut out half of the ads, and then it's 2 minutes between innings instead of 10 minutes. And then your games are an hour, 2 hours, like when Gibson and Koufax pitched. Well, what do you want? Oh, well, let's speed the game up so we can have more commercials. Okay, now explain this to me. Riddle me this, Batman. You've got Budweiser. Now you got this massive inflation and the dollar goes out. They still going to be advertising? And what are you going to charge them? And what are they going to charge for their beer? How are you going to pay for the beer? I mean, this is such a can of worms, this whole new currency. I assume they're going to come out with the new currency, probably at even money, and then it goes down to 75 to $1. So you pay $100, you get 75 in the new currency. I go to the store. What the fuck do I pay for Budweiser? What the fuck do you charge Budweiser to advertise? See, all these questions nobody but us ask, right? I'm the only one that can see it as an economist, not Peter Schiff or Rule or these other idiots that they don't get it. So as your dollar goes out, really what should happen is the price of a Budweiser should go up. And can they pass it on to the consumer? And if they can't, then their ad has to come down. They say, well, I can't afford $1 million for 30 minutes because nobody can buy my product. And that's what's going to happen. And that's why you sell your stocks, because what's going to happen is nobody is going to be able to afford. But look at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, the 2 liter was 99 cents for a long time, then like $1.59. Now it's $2.99 for a 2 liter Coke at Target. All of a sudden you see them on sale. So what's their advertising look like? They can't sell the product. They're going to be profitable? No. That's why. So that's the funny part when you see these, all these companies are going out. It's because they can't pass the prices on. Walmart can't just charge for a Coke $3 for a 2 liter because their customers are probably on the lower end and can't afford a $3 Coke. So they don't buy it. So what, does Walmart go out of business? If they do, it's because of the inflation, not because of the New World Order or all this other shit. It's because they can't keep their prices at market. It's like my barbecue ribs, right? If the guy has to go to 40, the market's at 25, he's out of business. That's Coca-Cola, that's Walmart, that's all these stores. If they have to raise the price over market, they're all going to fail because of the inflation. When I go to, what are they going to say? My Camry. I paid 22, 23 for it. It's now 30. Nobody buys it. It's down to 27, I hear. You cannot sell things over market. We control the market. And I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, is go communist so we don't control the market anymore. No matter what, we control the market because we determine based on price what we buy. And if I don't want Grey Poupon mustard, I'll go to the other kind of mustard. Now, our favorite Canadian Club 12-year. I'm at Meijer's today looking for this. I don't see it. The regular Canadian Club was $29 for the 1 liter. I could not find this. So I would imagine that either they can't sell it at profit or it's probably $100 if you can find it at a different store. Like if you go to a liquor store, they probably have it. I'll have to check that out, but I guarantee it's got to be near $100 for the bottle. If they still make 12-year-old Canadian Club, which it probably not, which that in theory, this is worth a ton. This is worth $1,000 because good luck finding it. You can't find it. So if I have any demand, the price goes through the roof. That's why I talk about gold and silver the way I talk about them. Because if you can't find gold and silver and there's demand for it, which we know there are, the price has to go through the roof. There is no other alternative. It's economics. 10 people want it. There's only 5 bottles. Guess what? The price of the bottle has gone up because you got 10 bidders. So if you have more bidders than you have supply, boom, gold, you're going to have more people because you're talking Russia, China, India, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Brazil, Argentina, and the good old US of A, and half of Africa are all bidding on the gold. And here you have JP Morgan keeping the price low for everybody. That's the problem, right? Let the price go and all these people bidding it. That's why you see $30,000, $40,000 that I'm talking about. Same in silver. So that's where I get the philosophy of why things are going. And I try to show it like in whiskey or mustard or whatever, so you can relate to it because people don't think gold goes up. But if I kept this price at 29 cents and the demand's high and you can never find it at the store because it's kept at 29 cents, but the market, if everybody wants this, the price goes up to $2, to $3, to $4 until they finally hit equilibrium where, okay, the demand is here, we've hit demand, and we're going to make the most money at $3.29, not at 10 cents. At 10 cents, you're not making any money because the demand's through the roof. And that's what you have in gold and silver right now. The demand's here. Don't kid yourself. It's not priced here because there's no demand. That's what they want you to think. Nobody wants it. But the truth is the demand's up here. But by keeping the price down, everybody thinks, oh, nobody wants it. I'll buy stocks or I'll buy something else. That's the problem. But I'm telling you, the demand is huge. That's the only thing that these idiots on YouTube are good for, like whatever Andy Scheckman, because he's saying the demand's huge. I'm getting all these orders for gold and silver. That's the only thing he's good for. So you get a feel of demand if he's actually telling the truth. His demand's high. Now he could be saying it so you get scared and you go buy it. So there is a method to his madness of saying that, so you buy before the supply runs out. But then I back it up by going to my guy who's dealing right with the mint. He don't have any silver. His gold, he's got 3 ounces. There is nothing there. So that proves the demand is strong. Otherwise, he'd have all this gold and silver sitting on the shelves. Nobody wants it. That's not what he has. And that's really when you want to buy shit like this, is when nobody wants it and it's just sitting on the shelves. You can get it for $10 an ounce. And that's what I'm trying to warn you about. Get it for $25 because when it hits 1,000 and Bobby did not buy another 100 ounces, as I'm saying to him to do, he's going to be one pissed off guy going, fuck, why didn't I buy more? Because it's not if it goes to 1,000, it's when it goes to 1,000. So he's got to prepare mentally. If he leaves money on the table, he's going to get really pissed, right? So he better get more ounces of silver and gold at these prices because they are not going to be there much longer, as we are telling. Great point, Professor. He was getting intensely. Yeah, okay. Yeah, tell me about it, Professor. It's getting as laughable as the WWE. Yeah, okay. I thought the NWO was Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Yeah, it was. I believe. Does your guy get it from JM Bullion too? No, he gets it from the U.S. Mint, and he also gets it from people that come into the store. So if I see Cougarans, he didn't get them from South Africa. You had people from Detroit go into his store and sell the Cougarans because they need money to pay rent. And I feel sorry for them, especially since when it goes to 30, 40,000 an ounce and they got 1,900 from this guy, that's what I feel bad. So that's where he gets his gold from. You don't get anything from the mint anymore. But no, JM Bullion is like my guy. My guy, he has 3 stores. He gets a ton of gold and silver. Used to. Now he like I'm saying, he ran out of silver. Basically, he was selling stained silver, and his gold was a couple of 1-ounce eagles that he got from people bringing them in, and some Cougarans, which he's not getting from South Africa. And then he's getting some Credit Suisse, what are they? Bars, the little 1-ounce bars, quarter-ounce bars from Credit Suisse. That's what he's getting in. And those are probably not from Credit Suisse. So, no, he gets them from the mint. But now the mint, I think the mint's saying, you know what? This is all going to go up. We fucked up. And they don't want to sell it anymore. So they're holding on to it. They're by law supposed to print the demand. So they should be making all these silver ounces and gold ounces, and they're not. And I think it's because they're hoarding them, or they're so incompetent that they don't know how to print them. My guess is they didn't order the blanks because they're incompetent, and now they can't, and they can't meet demand, which legally they're supposed to do. More so than, they got enough gold where they could just store it, but they don't like gold because they're Keynesians. And I don't know why Keynesians don't like gold, but so be it. Fine, there's more food for us. Thanksgiving, I don't eat turkey. Fine, I'll eat your turkey. That's how I am with gold and silver. Fine, you don't want to do it? Fine, more for us. But as the demand dries up, which it's damn near the end of the $2,000 demand, they're going to have. That's why COMEX is gone, because they're going to have to raise that, because there's not going to be any gold to buy at 2,000. They'll say there's no gold or there's no silver left. Yeah, there is. We got it in our safes in our houses, right, Bobby? But we're not getting it out at 25 an ounce. Now, you put a couple of zeros and make it 2,500. Yeah, I'll give you back 10 ounces of a silver for 2,500 that I paid 25 for. Then it starts coming out when the price gets to where it makes sense to sell it. But I'm not buying it as an investment. I am not buying it as a stock. I am buying it as insurance, because my fucking Titanic has sunk. Right? I gotta do this. All right. So there we go. More loss of value. Because this is sinking, the prices should be through the roof. And I'm buying the gold and silver to get out of this garbage, right? That's why I'm buying it. Now, it's going up in price because they've been suppressing it and the demand's huge. And when the demand's huge, price goes up. That's the other reason I'm buying it, but I'm basically buying it to get out of this. Because if I hold 100,000 of these and it goes to zero, 100,000 times zero is zero, I'm fucked. But if I have gold and silver, so let's go back to my Attack on Wall Street movie, which I watched yesterday and thoroughly enjoyed when he kills all the people. He's got 60,000. He puts it in real estate investment trust and he loses everything. You own gold, you never have that. You have zero risk and a huge reward. Why everybody isn't in gold just for that reason. To quote Bobby, I shake my head because I don't understand. Why wouldn't you be? You invest your money. If you don't think, as our guy Andrew McGuire said yesterday, if you don't think putting your money in the bank is an investment, you're out of your mind. And they're going to steal it from you. So again, you're trusting Madoff to hold your money, right? The banks are Madoffs, right? So when Madoff ran out of money, we said, sorry, I got no more money. It was a Ponzi scheme. What do you think the banks are going to say? Sorry, we don't have your money. Again, you're trusting somebody else with your money. Why are you doing that? Just trust yourself. You either store it in your safe, or you know what? You get out of it and buy as much gold and silver as you're comfortable, that you leave enough money to pay your rent and your mortgage and your food. That's all you should be doing. It should be 99% in gold and silver, not 10%. Well, why 10%? Where's the rest of my money? In the bank? Oh, good. It goes zero. Oh, no, it's in stocks. Oh, it's going to go down 90%. Oh, no, it's in houses. Oh, well, that's not going to go down. So where's my money? Oh, it's in crypto. Oh, well, that's not going to go down. It's nothing. We don't know what it is. So if I'm trying to get out of fiat, it's gold and silver. It's not a house that's going to go down in value. It's certainly not Microsoft. Maybe it's a Rolex. Maybe it's a Mantle card or a Bobby card. We'll give Bobby some credit. Maybe I put it into there. Is my Mantle card going to go down in value? It shouldn't, because it's an asset. So what you want to be in is real assets, which I would have put you in a house before, but the housing has already gone up because of the inflation. And now interest rates are going to go through the roof, and nobody's going to be able to afford it. And nobody's going to have money to afford it anyway. That's why I talk you into gold and silver, because you've got it, right? Nobody can take it, and you've got it. If I have a house and I need money, I need to sell it, right? So Bobby's sitting in his $1 million house. He needs money. What does he got to do? He's got to sell it. But now the interest rates are 15%. Who the fuck's got that kind of money to buy it from him? So Bobby has to lower the value of his house. I'll sell it for $500,000 at 20% interest because I need money. But Bobby, if you have gold and silver, you have money. You don't need it. And it's going up through the roof. So it's really to get out of paper, and I don't have to sell anything to get it. I already have it. I've got money. It's gold and silver. Ask the Romans. So that's really what the key of gold and silver is. So going to real estate, well, what are you going to buy a house? You're going to get your ass kicked. I'll buy land. I'll be Bill Gates and buy farmland. You think Bill Gates is out there farming it, planting corn and wheat? I mean, you got to be kidding me. So what am I going to do with land? You think land's going to have any value? No, it's not going to have any value, because you got to have a buyer to have a market. So if I'm Grey Poupon, I can sell it all day, but if there's no market for it, I can't sell it. It's gone. That's the point. Now, do you see an Edsel rolling around, an Edsel Ford car? There's no demand for it. Do you see a Pinto? No, there's no demand for it. It went to zero. That's what you have. So you have to have a product that there's a demand for. So that's my point. You always have demand for gold and silver, but some of this stuff you're not going to have demand for. And that's the key. And that's the economic part that I try to teach you, is it's a market. And what you're looking for is, where's the market? Where's the demand? So if the Bobby Bow shoe wants to come out, is there demand for tennis shoes? Yes. You got to fight Nike and Tiger Woods and LeBron and those guys. Can you fight them? You can be a better price. And if you get Bobby Bow to wear his shoe, and everybody goes, I want Bobby Bow's shoe, and Bobby Bow's wearing it, then he can compete at a better price, and people will then run to the Bobby Bow shoe. He knows there's demand for the tennis shoe, but can he compete? And what will the market determine? Does the market only want Tiger and LeBron, or will the market say, hell, fuck, that's too expensive, but I can buy a Bobby Bow shoe, so I'm going to buy it? That's what you're trying to figure out with the market. And then, can I make it non-substitutable? There's no competition. It's the Bobby Bow shoe or that. It's buying a Mercedes or nothing, buying a Ferrari or nothing. That's what you're trying to do. And with gold and silver, we've hit the market. There is no competition for gold and silver but this shit. And this is not competition. This is fucking paper. That's why I rip it. This is worthless. This is paper with $1 on it. So at competition for gold, would you rather have $2,000 or an ounce of gold? And it's pretty obvious I want the ounce of gold. Not only is it going to go up, the dollar is going to go down. So why would I hold $2,000 that are going to buy me Cheerios? Well, maybe 5 boxes of Cheerios for the 2,000, or the gold coin that's going to go up to 50,000. Which do I want to own? And then, is there market and demand for that? Well, we know there's demand for gold. Is there demand for the dollar? Well, wait a minute. She's the fat, ugly girl at the end of the bar that nobody wants, and 100 countries are saying we're getting out of the dollar. Where's the demand? So what's going to last longer? All the 100 countries buying gold and getting out of the dollar. So the demand's for gold, but there's no demand for the dollar. It's going to lose its value. Gold's going to go up. There is no. It's a joke. It's like, why isn't Barry in the Hall of Fame? 780 home runs, whatever. Got walked 1 million times. Hit 320. He ain't in the Hall of Fame. It just doesn't make sense. So let's use Babe Ruth, 700 and whatever, 30 home runs, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and there's demand for it. So that's the point. You've got that guy in, you've got gold is the Hall of, you're not going to lose and it's going to go up versus the dollar, which you're going to lose and it's going to go to nothing. Which would you rather be in? It's a fucking no-brainer. How everybody's not in gold and silver is because they don't understand it. So you can't really, I kind of laugh at them, but I kind of feel sorry for them is they don't know. But what pisses me off is when they don't listen to the professor. When I'm teaching you this and I'm trying to teach the communist or the guy in Spain who's my girlfriend's boyfriend, and I'm trying to teach them and they won't listen, then I get a little bit frustrated going, well, go fuck yourself then. And when your dollars go to zero and you could have bought gold at 2,000, that's now at 30,000. I don't want to hear, I told you so, that I told them. I won't say that. That's insulting to say that. I told you so. I'm telling you now, if you don't want to listen, you know what the consequences are going to be. And that's the point of it. You have a no-brainer. You have no risk going into gold and silver. Your money's in the bank. Good luck getting it out. Your money's in stock. Good luck that won't fall. Because all the foreigners who own are the ones owning the stock. Microsoft's owned probably more by China, Japan, Germany, and Russia. Well, not Russia anymore, but those three countries probably own 90% of the Microsoft shares. And as they get out of it, you're going to see it tumble. So they're the ones keeping it up, not the U.S. And we're pissing everybody off pretty good. So that's what you have to understand. If you think stocks are your savior, it's in dollars. These companies, as I just pointed out, are going to go down. The stocks are not your answer. The bonds certainly aren't your answer. Inflation eats the dollar and loses its value, but you can't inflate gold and silver because you can't print it. You got to go into the ground and dig it up, and even then, it's such a small amount. They find 500,000 ounces in a mine. Okay, it takes them years to dig them out, and then you've got to then make them into coins. So you're just taking the gold and you're doing some shit with it, and then you got to get it to the mint to even actually make the coins, which takes years. So even if you find 500,000 ounces in the ground, it takes 10 years until it's actually into the supply. That ain't inflation. So that's my point. You have a lot more demand than you do supply, and the price is not equal to demand. That's why we're buying it. Part one is to get out of the dollar. The dollar's going down. We know that. Yes, it's going to zero. And I know you don't believe it. But I always, he says, how much physical do you own? I say, well, I bet the Romans didn't think their economy was going to hell either. So we're Caesar's walking down the street. Hey, Caesar, did you catch the ball game? And then you feel, wow, we're the Romans. Nothing can happen to us. Oops. Yeah. Well, if they fuck with our money, something can. What's happening here? They're fucking with our money. You fuck with the money, you have no power, you have no control, you have no demand. You're fucked. We're fucked because they're fucking with our money. And they're idiots because you had it. All you had to do is not inflate. Why are you inflating when you didn't need to? Okay, part of it's military, fine. The rest of the shit, what are you doing? You're inflating your money and you're number one. You're the 75 Steelers. What do you got nothing? Just keep going, man. Oh my God. And they would have won in 76 if Franco Harris didn't get hurt in the Colt game in the playoffs. They'd have beat the Raiders again. So that's my point. The one thing you can't do is inflate your money, and you can't inflate gold. And that's the key. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so. So that's what you have to understand. You're in a no risk, make 1,000% return, and you tell me where else you can find that, because you can't. You can never find it. Even if you were in Microsoft stock and they're pumping money in, you cannot find an investment as sure as this ever. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to buy gold at these cheap prices that are being manipulated down, that it's about to blow up and it's going to go up. Tell me where you can be in a zero risk we'll call it an investment, a zero risk, whatever. Now, with heavy inflation and the nobody wants the dollars, and, the bank runs. You tell me where you're safer. I'd love to hear. I'd be open and honest with it. It ain't Bitcoin. The only thing you can argue with me is a Rolex or a Mickey Mantle card, or Bobby Bow card, of course. I mean, that's the only thing you can argue with me is I'll buy a Mantle card that'll go up. I'll buy the Brady or the Jordan rookie cards or the Montana. They'll go up. Yes, they will, but you still have to sell them, and you still have to find a buyer. I don't have to find a buyer for gold. I just take it, go to the bank or the coin store, or go on eBay, and then there's the buyer. And that's it. So if you're thinking, well, wait, everybody will lose all their money in inflation. My gold will be worth 50,000. How do I sell it? There'll still be the banks or somebody on eBay will have money and he will buy it. You'll be able to sell it. And then think about it if you didn't have gold. So let's play devil's advocate. Okay, gold, I can't sell it. It's 50,000 an ounce. What are you going to do with this shit? Who's going to want it? Nobody's going to want it. So who's going to have money to buy anything? So that's where the Rolex and the Mantle card, they'll always be buyers. And, you sell it on eBay. Or the gold, you go to the coin store. But if the guy's going to fuck around, you just sell it on eBay. There'll be buyers. There'll be people. JP Morgan has a lot of silver. The Chinese guys will buy it, right? So you're going to sell an ounce of gold, and Hong Kong City all of a sudden buys your gold from you. Hey, as long as they pay me. Once we figure out what the currency that they're going to pay me in, or I'm going to go buy a house with it, and then here's your gold. Give me the house. Thank you very much, and off I go. So it's an impossible. You cannot lose in this. This is betting on a fixed game. This is better than betting on like a fixed game, right? We know Kansas City's going to win the Super Bowl. They're a dog. We're betting on it. This is better than that, right? This never happened. And you're buying a thing that's worth 2,000 that's going to be worth 50 because they gets off the derivative and into the physical, which is happening. That's why I share with you Andrew Maguire, because we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it. So we know they're getting rid of it, and we know it's blowing up. And it's just a matter of, I don't get tired of the when game, but it's not 1:00 on a Sunday. All of a sudden we go derivative. We leave derivative and go to physical. There is no game time for it. So when you ask when, all I can say is very, very soon. And as quick as you can buy more gold and silver, you buy more gold and silver at this price, unless you're going to go beat your head into the wall when it hits 10 grand and you could have bought it at 2 and now you got to buy it at 10, or silver at 2,000. I think you'll be pretty upset when you could buy it for 25, 30, which is now going to cost you 1,000. And then you got the idiots going, the silver will hit 35. The all-time high is 50. The all-time COMEX high is 50, not physical. We don't have an all-time physical high. We don't have a high on it. It's never been physical, and it's about to happen. That's why we're saying that. But you have to get out of the dollars. You must get out of this anyway. This is crucial to get out of this. Now, if you want to buy a Rolex with it, or a Mantle card, or a Jordan card, then do that. But you cannot stay in this. This is zero. This has hit the iceberg. It's gone. That's a fact. That is not an opinion. It's gone. I don't do opinions. I do facts of what is happening, right? I never do opinions. Even my football, when I pick the games, I got one idiot who keeps saying, it's what does he call it? An estimate or something like that. And I go, it's not an estimate. It's not a guess. I'm not guessing at these games. That's how I pick 75%. I'm not guessing. I'm analyzing it, going, this is what should happen. It's not a guess. It's not like, I'll take the Lions playing the Bears. I'll just take the Lions. That's a guess. But if I give you an answer why I'm doing it, the probability is probably 75% that this will happen. Probability on the gold going up is 100%. Right? It's not a risk. It's not a guess. It's what's happening. So, no, my guy does not buy JM Bullion. He goes right to the U.S. Mint. He's got 3 stores, and he was out of silver and gold. I'll have to go Tuesday and see what he's got left. But I'm very happy I'm back to work so I can afford it. I hope I'm at work for a year. I think with Harley, they're recession proof, they're inflation proof. So you're still going to buy the Harley no matter what, but it's going to get hurt because people aren't going to be able to afford them. I mean, there's going to be less people. Here's the markets. Let's say 1,000 people for the ribs. Now it's going to be 500 people for the ribs because people just won't be able to afford the ribs, and they'll be eating hamburgers and all that. That's why I'm storing them in my freezers, waiting on the price to go up. That I've been smart enough to buy them at $5 a pound, and if it goes to 20 a pound, I'm fucked. But I don't know. I keep walking in the grocery store expecting $20 a pound hamburger. I keep seeing 5. Anyway, I think that's it. Off to the pool. Have a great day. Buy your gold and silver pretty quickly, and that's about it. So www.teaserking.com. If you can get my email, if you want to email me and talk about anything. All right, everybody. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. I'll probably be on tomorrow.